Hello, and we're playing a game of Soulbound because why not? For those who don't know, Soulbound is the Warhammer Age of Sigmar RPG that was released in. Actually, it was released over lockdown, which is why it's not been played that much because all the books were just when it was nobody could go outside.
Which is weird. You would think that'd be a better time to sit down and read books, but yeah.
No, there's a lot of it is a lot of it is still the just trying to actually meet up with people kind of thing.
Hmm.
So yeah, we're playing a bunch of interesting adventurers who are on a quest in the mortal realms to kill demons. That is what they're doing today. I'm just gonna get straight into it. We start out in the originally in the realm of fire, the realm of Akshi, just outside one of the major cities of the Free Peoples of Sigmar, um, which is funnily enough called Hammerhall Akshi because it is the twin city. It is so large that it sprawls between Akshi through a realm gate, which is a mystical barrier, a mystical gateway that connects all the mortal realms to whichever other mortal realms, but each gateway only has a single connection. So Hammer Hall is so fucking large that it exists in both Akshi and in the realm of life Giran. So you've got Hammer Hall Aksha and Hammer Hall Gira because it's just so big. We start out in the outskirts of Hammer Hall, and actually, I think we're going to um, center in on a very well-to-do noble woman riding her horse through the plains, through the scorched plains, and desperately trying to head to the city. Ryan, what is your character doing?
My
What does
character,
she look like?
my character is approaching the city on a horse that looks very sickly, like it hasn't eaten in a good while, with but pretty light eyes, like weirdly has a weird shine to them. She's in full red. She's in a full red regalia of heavy armor,
Okay.
and on the back of her
Let's roll it
horse,
again.
everything okay?
Yeah, just keep going.
And on the back of her horse lies a tattered banner of of her queen, Neferta. I will get her name right one of these centuries, I'm sure.
Neferata, as
Neferata.
pronounced. Yep.
It's a very uncommon sight in these parts, I am sure.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere you can see Hammer Hall. Have you been to Hammer Hall before, or is this your first visit to the city?
This is my first time here.
Okay.
I've been in a few other human cities of late under my queen's orders, doing perfectly normal everyday things.
Right, in that case, yeah. So as you're approaching the city, you can see there's the twin-tailed comet and the hammer, the two major icons of Sigmar, the human god, just all over the place. You've even seen a couple of Sigmar's warriors, the Stormcast Eternals. The Hammers of Sigmar are the Wardens of Hammerhall, and they are just so extra. They are wearing bright gold battle plate with shields that crackle with electricity. And some of them you can actually see that this electricity extends through their helmets, like it's just bleeding out of them. Um, you don't really know what that is because you've never really encountered the Stormcasts as well. Usually the Stormcasts have a bit of a abrasive connection with you.
Yeah.
Um, you will have actually been told prior to heading here to not have your banner on display because,
Okay.
um,
I wouldn't have my banner on display
yeah,
because I.
you just have it like sort of folded up beside you kind of thing.
Yeah.
And actually, as you stop, you do see a couple of the stormcasts stop you. There are some other sort of human and elven, dwarven, border guards. Mainly it's the mortals who are dealing with it. However, there are also a couple of Stormcasts in their gleaming gold armor. One of them is holding a very large lantern and appears to be just sort of inspecting everyone that goes through.
I have nothing to hide on me, no contraband or anything, so I will continue to move forward then. I'd been told, what was I told when I assume I got a missive or something.
You were given very little information actually. You were just told that you would need to make your way to Hammer Hall somewhat subtly. Like you couldn't just you noble. You might have been able to just announce your presence to the rulers of the city, but you were actually specifically said not to do that.
Yeah.
Um,
So right now
Other than that, you've not really been given much information other than you were supposed to head to Hammer Hall Aksha and further instructions would be relayed later.
Yeah. It's why I chose the more sickly looking horse instead of a full on, one of my normal favorites. That way I can just say my horse isn't well. And I probably right now have probably my plan then is I'm gonna present myself just as your average run-of-the-mill mercenary.
Yeah, so the Stormcast get to you, and they are large. They are like taller even than the elves. Sorry, they are like really imposing, and they don't really care for it. You can see that every now and again they're just stopping everyone heading into the city to make sure that they are who they say they are and that their business is what they say it is. You can see that
over there. I can't get it. Sorry, my nephew is barged in.
No, that's okay. Yeah, you can see that the humans and the elves and the dwarves, they're occasionally chatting amongst themselves or chatting to some of the people heading into the city. The Stormcasts they don't interact with people, except a couple of times you saw that the one holding the lantern has just gone up to someone in front of you, has just stopped, waved over one of their compatriots who's carrying a large spear and a shield, and the spearman has literally just dragged someone off their horse and just taken them away somewhere else.
Mm.
And on top of that, the horse has then just been killed in the street and then immediately cleared up.
Mm.
And this now then comes to you. The lantern bearing Stormcast just walks up to you and just shines the light in your face. Can you actually make me a... Hang on, just double check something. Can you make me a fortitude roll, please?
Okay, let me find my fortitude. Body fortitude?
Yeah, body fortitude. The DN for this one will be 4-2. It's not particularly difficult, but there's definitely something about this lantern.
Hi. So DN 4. Do I click 4?
Mhm.
All right. Fortitude bonus nothing.
No bonuses, no.
Okay. And I got 3 successes.
Yep, you just feel this light of the lantern touch you, and it burns. It doesn't just like blind you. It's not just bright. It's not even like burning your skin. It's burning whatever remnants of your soul lie deep within. And you would probably be able to surmise that this lantern is specifically to try and find things that aren't human or just like aren't a normal person.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be trying to, smile and not give the game away if this thing burns.
Yeah, so you can see like through the eye slits of this Stormcast helmet, it's like a full sculpted faceplate, just with the eyes for the actual warrior inside to see. This is one of the ones whose eyes are like bleeding lightning, and they just hold it there for a good while, and you're not entirely sure what's going to happen before they just lower it and move on to the next person.
I give a mental sigh, if not a physical reaction, as I continue to head down the road,
All right.
reaching into the city proper.
Yeah. You you're waved in through. You have a reason to be here. You don't really, and they're border guards. You're not exactly going to spend much time with them, are you? So you're put into, and you're now in Hammerhall properly, and you can see that it is a massive, massive city. There is the Hammerhall Realm Gate far, far above you, and it is the size of a mountain, like this just giant hole in the air where the sort of arid plains and sort of high scudding clouds of the plain of Akshi just suddenly stop. And then in this hole in the air, you see on the other side of it more city, but you also see verdant forests and you see like rain clouds far as the eye can see. You've heard of this. This is the Hammerhall Realm Gate that leads to the Realm of Life Giran. Which is also Hammerhall is also one of the primary sources of Aqua Giranus that these common folks seem to use as money.
Well, while the city does not have the same splendor of New Lamia, it is still an impressive sight.
You've been told to meet up at a certain tavern, specifically keeping away from the upper district. So, like, you can actually see that this city is built in tiers like a cake, and you can see that you can actually just watch as the tiers go up. That the higher tiers are more opulent and more extravagant. And part of you does kind of wish that you were up there and not down here, but no,
Yeah.
you were specifically told that you needed to actually go to a tavern on the fortress wall at the bottom.
Indeed, I do belong up there, as is my right by my nature, but I follow my orders.
Yep. You
So
go
I
off
would
into the
I make my way to the fortress tavern place.
yeah. This is like one of the taverns who serves the garrison that defends this city. Like it is not used by the common people or the merchants or the people who live here. It is used exclusively by the people who defend this city.
Yeah. But
So
that's
you,
what
you
I
can
was told
see
to
every now
do.
and you can see. Yep, I know. You can see humans in very fancy uniforms because Hammerhall is such a prominent city. They can afford
Free
to
my
have
four.
Oh, sorry, Ned started playing in the background. Apologies.
That's okay. You can see because Hammerhall is so prominent and so wealthy, it was the first city outside of the realm of Azir claimed by Sigmar. So it is the oldest, it is the most powerful. Even their basic troops are actually very well dressed. They're very neatly tailored. Their uniforms are could actually almost show for the efficiency of your own home. However, everyone's a bit too lively for your liking if you get the drift.
Yeah.
And as you make your way over to this garrison tavern, we will actually pan over to a different part of Hammerhall, where we find. Let me just double check something. Wraith. Wraith, you have arrived. You had maybe arrived in Hammerhall a couple of days ago. What have you been doing in the intervening time?
Good question. I imagine there's not a temple or anything that I can.
No,
Wanna bother?
Hammerhall is very specifically a Sigmarite city. All the
Sure.
major religion here is Sigmar and his Stormcasts. There is
Sure.
no. There, you might be able to find a hidden one, but it's definitely not one that's encouraged or even probably permitted.
Right. In which
actually,
case, probably keeping a low profile.
yeah, can you actually give me a stealth check? Actually,
Sure.
I will say it would be a DN of 3, 2, because you know how to get around unseen when you don't want to be noticed.
I mean, so that's a DN of 3 and a stealth bonus of 2, or
No, the complexity is 2, so you need 2 successes to succeed overall.
Okay. That doesn't seem to have rolled. 1 second. There we go.
Yep, with 3 successes, you're able to. It does take a bit of. It's very easy for you. Like you've done this before. However, you do notice that the lapdogs of Sigmar are a bit more observant than you're used to. Possibly that's just because you're in their capital city. Get the impression that this would have been easier for you if you were just in one of their outlying settlements. But you do eventually find, just in the underwarns of the city, you meet up with. You don't meet up with any of your daughters or any of your sisters. However, you do end up meeting with a couple of the Darkling Covens, who officially they are completely unaffiliated with the Daughters of Cain. Unofficially, however, they are pretty much always acting as informants for whenever a prominent member of the priesthood happens by. And I'm guessing you're not being too. You're not trying to hide who you are at all.
No.
Yeah, you after about a day or so, you were approached by another elf in very black armor. Like it's been deliberately painted to absorb as much light as possible. And they've just kind of led you down a sort of series of alleyways where things twist and turn and buildings have partially collapsed. This is one of the more run-down areas of Hammerhall, and one of the bits that the rulers of the city tend to ignore. And in the basement of a collapsed building, you do actually find a very small shrine to Cain. It's nowhere near as grand as the High Oracle, but it is there nonetheless.
Sure. Yeah, probably spend my time in prayer and devotion. Do I have a particular reason for coming to the city, or?
You were told simply that you would be sent to Hammerhall, and there you would meet up with other devotees of the gods. And then you would be... You would know them when you saw them, but you were specifically being told that you might need to go to another one of the realms, and there are realm gates all over Hammerhall. It's like a sort of nexus point. You might be able to find a way to the realm of Shaish, the realm of death, where there's whisperings of a chaos incursion. And obviously, Marathi has decided that her presence is needed not in person but through an envoy, just to keep face with the other gods. And that is why you are here.
Fair enough. In which case, yeah, just lots of preparation, making sure my armor is pristine for how much red there is. Sharpened finger claws, performing sort of small bites with the chalice, and yeah, just sort of watching for any signs.
Yeah. After that, you'd also know that there is a tavern near the fortress wall that is potentially where those who want to avoid the notice of the stormcasts go and do their business. You're still technically on good terms with the stormcasts, but it's more of the less fuss you cause while you're here, the easier it will be for everyone.
Sure.
So you've been given this tavern, and it is literally just known as the bolt in the wall, because it's literally just at the very edge of the fortress wall.
And I've had one of the Darklings like watching the tavern to like just report back on anyone new who moves in.
Yes.
Like anyone interesting.
We will get back to you in a bit, actually. So, We actually now cut to the Bolt in the Wall Tavern, where there's the garrison of Hammerhall Aksha. The standing military is a combination of elves, a combination of Dwarden. There's lots of humans. Some of them are wearing very, very fancy hats. You can probably tell that those are the officers because the fanciness of the hat denotes rank. And it's definitely a military bar. It is the kind of place where soldiers come to spend a couple of hours off leave, have some time to unwind before hitting their bunks, and then doing the same thing again tomorrow. However, today there are two newcomers to the tavern. Two very vibrant, fiery haired Dwarden, one of whom is regaling the crowd of tales of Grimnir. And that is where I will introduce Torther. Torther, what story are you rousing the populace with this time?
Torther is regaling his his captive audience, perhaps a little too literally captive, with the tale of when his lodge did battle against one of the demons of insert chaos god here.
Corn.
One of the demons of Corn. It was a mighty battle. Many heroes fell that day, but many more
yes, the
stood.
Battle of Scalathrak, the infamous bloodthirster.
Yeah, but many more stood. And, he's just regaling this lengthy, excruciatingly detailed battle of just this endless barrage of dwarven fury against a demonic horde. And
give me an entertain roll. This one's going to be piss easy because this is what you do for a living. So it's going to be a DN of 2, and you're only going to need one of those for this to succeed.
Entertain, you said?
Yep.
Okay, then.
Many souls returned to Nagash that day.
Target DN of 2. Entertain bonus?
Yeah, you can use your training if you need to bump it up a little bit.
Okay, then I'll
use your focus. Sorry.
I'll put 1 in that because I have a focus. 5 successes.
Yeah, no, like they're obviously tired. They've been garrisoning the city all day, so these ones have just come off shift and are just like. So they were originally trying to just avoid doing anything, but as the longer you go on, the more things start to happen, and the more people just stop what they're doing, turn to have a look at you. And by the time you finish regaling the story of the great bloodthirster Scalatrak, everyone in the bar is turned to look at you, except perhaps for your other fire-haired companion who has possibly heard this one before.
Yeah. So Torther's just finishing, and it was at that moment when what's the demon's name? Sorry,
Scalathrak.
It was at that moment when Scalathrax was down on one knee, grasping at his ribs, that the mighty Tanthir Firehammer leapt and drove his hammer down, crushing Scalathrax's head beneath the with the impact. The sound could be heard for miles.
Yeah, actually, the sound could be heard for miles. A couple of the humans.
If I may, actually, at that point, you just hear Bully is sort of in on this, and basically, as he says, the sound could be heard for miles. Bully just slams the butt of his great axe into the floor.
Oh yeah, no, that has the desired effect. Most of the people in the tavern just jump at that sudden shock. You do notice a group of like 4 men who just do not react to the loud noise, and you can see that their uniforms are stained with soot. They've got like blast burns all over
Yeah.
all over their features,
Yeah.
and no matter how much they've tried to clean it, they've just got soot under their skin at this point.
Yeah.
And one of them just turns off as like well, if it was only heard for miles, we might have been able to sleep that night. You can tell that this is one of the artillerists who
Yeah.
mans the big guns on the wall.
And as the camera pans to Bully, you just see this this dwarf who looks like his muscles have muscles. He is wearing almost nothing. He is wearing a loincloth. His mohawk is massive, and his beard, so is his beard. There's all sorts of metal bits inside this beard. And Bully has not stopped grinning ever since he walked in here. He is just like,
We just ignore this. We just ignore the zipper on the back of his muscle suit.
yeah. He basically, once he's done, he basically just sort of like edging him on. Oh, if you think that story's good, why don't tell him about that time we got our hands on that keeper of secrets. Oh, the battle there.
Ah, the Trove of Secrets. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, that is a tale.
You are,
For
however,
later, I
interrupted
need
from
a
going
drink.
into.
What?
Yeah, I was about. If you were about to go into, it was like you are interrupted as you're about to go into
Yeah.
this next long saga.
No. He
Well,
goes,
look,
that is
got
a
no-
tale for later. I need a drink. And
At that, the ones aside from the wall artillerists who just don't seem to care because
yeah.
they live next to loud sounds
Yeah.
all the time. Probably sure that at least two of them are deaf. Everyone else is incredibly engaged by your story, and you have no end of offers to buy you drinks.
Yeah. Torfa is he stands at 4.5 feet tall, and he is not quite as muscly as his brother, but he is powerfully built, broad-shouldered, and he is wearing a robe that is it looks pristine, but it also looks very, very well worn. So
it's kept in good order, but it's showing
Yeah.
its age.
Yeah. He has a long red beard that is tied into a loose braid with a few smaller little braids sort of leading along the jawline to it that are tied with little bits of metal with little holy symbols etched into it, very finely crafted. His hair is long and tied into a ponytail. His hair all his hair is a fiery orange. His eyes are also an intense fiery orange.
Nice. As you're being inundated with several offers of drinks and several offers of, especially from the other Dwarden in the city, they're just asking for you to come sit by their table and
Yeah.
share stories of the good old days, or you'd rather suspect in their case they're just wanting another Dwarden to grumble with. As you notice that a couple of the groups of Dwarden are just having a back in my day,
Yeah.
and they're just doing this
Oh, yeah?
endlessly and just doing, well, you see, I had it tough as a lad. It's like, oh, you thought you had it tough? I had it so much tougher. Aye. The youngins don't know what's going on now.
Bully has picked the toughest Dwarden other than himself in this tavern and is currently arm wrestling within him.
Oh yeah, no, this is a Dwarden who's quite up there in years. He's not like lost any of his physical prowess, but he's got a big long beard that reaches to his knees. It's white, has been immaculately braided and stained a couple of times. You're not entirely sure if that's blood or meat. It could be both.
Probably a mix of both.
Yeah, definitely, probably a mix of both. This is the garrison wall of Hammerhall. And yeah, he's currently trying to hold his own against you, and he's just going on about how the strength of youth is wasted on the young, and he's just having a good old grumble for no fucking reason because it's what they do. We are interrupted at this as the door opens and Catherine, you step in.
Catherine would step in, look around.
Because his hair is so brightly colored and he moves so fast, I think the first thing Catherine notices is just a blur of orange, and what looks like a half insane Duarden is just staring at her like.
Oh yeah, from about like waist height or like just above waist height.
Catherine is like 6'1". She is very tall for
yeah, so you just see a Duarden. You just see a Duarden whose mohawk is about the same height as him, just staring up at you.
Tortha, for his part, is very much accepting every single offer he gets. He's not accepting one; he's accepting all of them.
Can you make me a fortitude check, because that is a lot of alcohol?
I mean, he's a dwarf. That's what dwarfs do.
Oh yeah. Yes, but you're still drinking a lot of alcohol. Even dwarves have their limit. I will say, however, it's going to be, actually, I will say it's going to be a difficulty 3, but you're going to need 4 successes because everyone's just keeping plying you with drink, and eventually you're going to just kind of get overwhelmed if you're not careful.
So it's difficulty DN3, yeah.
Yep.
No fortitude bonus, I assume.
Do you have fortitude?
I do not.
In that case, it'll just be your body then. Oh, in that case, you can't actually succeed.
Yep. He gets very drunk very quickly. But he is having a whale of a time. And I imagine he moves on from like the story he was gonna say that his brother started to like maybe singing a great dwarven ballad of some kind.
Oh no. You're right about the singing a dwarven ballad, but you're no longer singing an inspirational saga regaling an epic hero. You're now just singing a really, really racy tune that the other Dwarden really get on board with because they understand the language. Some of the humans and some of the elves who can also understand Dwarden are just looking at you just like, what?
And the moment his brother starts singing that bully, trying to overpower his brother's voice, just goes, "Oh, there once was a ship that put to sea." Basically trying to rile up the tavern into a sea shanty.
Catherine, looking at this, looks at the door, considers for a second, remembers her orders, and goes and finds a seat. But doesn't look back at the door for a moment.
Yeah, just longingly.
Yeah, and Catherine takes a seat somewhere where it's free, pulls off her helmet, her raven hair comes out, typical TV trope stuff. She puts down her helmet on the table and just waits. The main thing of note with Catherine's face is her eyes are dual-coloured. One blue, one green.
Nice. Tortha, for his part, as soon as his brother changes the song, Tortha goes with it. He's drunk. He doesn't care.
Oh yeah, you're just like singing whatever at this point.
Yeah.
You're like 10 meads in at this point. You're just like, hey!
Yes,
yep, he is smashed.
He is like Bully for his part doesn't want to piss off any allied races.
Oh yeah, no, the song that Tortha was about to go into was basically as sort of objectivist and as sexist towards elves as it is possible to be. And it's something that usually isn't sung outside of the lodge.
And Bully just goes, and we're moving swiftly on.
Yep.
This is why Torta doesn't drink much, but he got caught up in his own hype. And everyone's like, want a drink? He went, yes, I do.
Oh, and for his part, Bully does buy like one of those mini kegs who cracks open the top and just goes.
Catherine just mutters under her breath, "Your Majesty, why have you punished me so?"
I think Gerbil needs to roll a fortune as well if he's drinking an entire keg.
Oh yeah, no, give me a
mini
fortitude as well. Give me a fortitude as well. That'll be the same DN 3-4 because you're a dwarf. You know how to handle your drink, but you're also chugging a keg. You're doing a keg stand.
Okay.
Your Majesty,
Okay.
I don't care about my loyalties. If a beautiful woman doesn't walk through that door soon, I am leaving.
So it's DN3?
Yeah, DN3, and you need 4 successes to avoid.
And would you know it, Jen's character gets held up for the night.
Oh, would you look at that? 4 successes.
Yeah, you know how to pace yourself. You know how not you're going through this at a steady rate rather than trying to drink it as quickly as possible.
Whereas Torthor is just like, and another.
Torthor is basically drinking drinks as fast as they're being handed to him. He's probably not even aware that people are just constantly refilling his drinks.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bolly, you are aware of everything around you. You've got that good buzz going, but you're not out of control. Your brother, however, is completely rat-arsed.
And the moment Bully empties the keg, he literally just goes over to his brother, goes thump, who puts the keg over his brother and rolls him into a corner, so he stops drinking.
I think the entire time Tortoise is going, way.
Oh yeah, Torthor, for you this is fantastic. It's like you were singing, you were telling stories, you were getting drink. Now you're horizontal, being rolled into the corner. This is great.
Yep.
Yeah. Catherine orders a drink and points over to the other 2 dwarven brothers, one in the out, and say, "They said they'll buy it."
Nice.
And the moment you say that, Bully just goes, "I heard that. No, we're not."
At this moment,
she wouldn't say it loud enough for you to hear over the ruckus of this place.
At this moment,
Still says that anyway.
You'd been over in the Shrine of Cain as we sort of cut back away from the drunkenness and go back in time, maybe about 20 minutes or so. You had heard mention of a couple of fire slayers who had been seen in the bolt in the wall, which in and of itself isn't too sort of in itself isn't noteworthy on its own, because there are fire slayers who pass through the city. Usually they don't come to this part of the city because they're usually up near the realm gate because it's the nexus of travel, so they might be in one of the drinking establishments up there, or like trying to get some mercenary work before heading off on their journey. It's rare to see fire slayers down here unless they're actively going out to campaign in the lands surrounding Hammerhall. You also see you're just sort of enjoying. I guess you're enjoying like a fine wine with this sorceress coven, who's they're definitely trying to brown nose you, because it's like they know their place. They know that the Cainite priesthood are above them, and they are essentially trying to climb their own ladder and trying to gain Marathi's favor.
In other words, a step on me, mommy.
Yes, so they are definitely.
Everyone has that energy around me.
They are trying to be as polite as possible. There's still like veiled threats and subterfuges because that's what the Darkling covens do. But they're definitely trying to present their most efficient and most dedicated front to you. As a runner comes in, breathless, and just has to actually pause for a moment. It's like a very young elf maiden. She's like barely out of adolescence, and she's like, "Forgive me, my ladies. There's a vampire in the it's just she's like having to sort of lean against the wall because you get the impression she sprinted from the tavern to here as soon as she saw Catherine enter. And she's like leaning against the wall. I apologize.
Fake news. There's no proof I'm a vampire.
You don't know they're talking about you. There might be a second vampire.
I will also point out that the Darkling Covens are experts in subterfuge magic.
I know. I was just being a shit.
Also, I need to find a way to bring the party together.
Yeah.
Right.
The ones who are with you are annoyed that their brown nosing and their networking has been interrupted, but you immediately realize that. Actually, no. You were mentioned that there would be some allies with you in this hunt for in this chaos incursion that might otherwise be seen as uncouth and not in keeping with the regular forces of order. And at the mention of a vampire, that's like that's probably them.
Yeah. She'll set her goblet down, carefully sort of lace up her finger claws, cup the girl's chin. Oh, thank you for informing me.
Oh, of course. Anything for the High Oracle.
Of course. Well, darlings, it's been wonderful, but I think our time together has grown short. She'll hold out her arms and the Darklings bring her cape onto her.
They 100% just. Oh, of course. You can see that these are all elves who are, in their own right, are powerful and have control over tracts of the city. They're just
they just know their place.
Yes, they're definitely trying to think that maybe if I'm the one who sucks up to her the most, she will reward me. She is a priest of Cain. And I take it you head off to the bolt in the wall.
Yeah, I do.
And how your reward could easily just be saying, you know what, out of all the people here, you're Cain's favorite. Believe me, I'm a priest.
I mean, I think she'll do a small blessing to the one who ran in with the news, just to incite a little bit of chaos. With,
yeah, I can see. Yep.
Of
course, the messenger gets rewarded.
Yeah.
As Jen's character leaves, like she shuts the door behind her, and all the other elves just turn to look at the one that she blessed, and they just lunge at her and start stabbing her.
Oh no! Can't possibly do that. If the one of the High Oracle, one of the priests of the High Oracle herself, Marathi, has deemed fit to bless this wastrel, she can't be killed publicly.
I mean, it's in a closed room. It's not public.
It's public for the order.
The
woman has to fall. She has to fall down some stairs.
Look for that particular coven that every member of the right now. So I'd say, how quickly are you making your way from this sort of rundown district?
I think very quickly.
Okay,
now that there's actual business to do.
Yeah, I'd say. Are you actually running, or are you just briskly walking?
Brisk walk, just never run.
Of course.
It's just
running is beneath you unless you're actively being chased by something.
Yeah, there's if there's a chaos warrior ahead, I'll run towards it. But until that point,
Okay, so it takes you about 15 minutes or so to get to the bolt in the wall. You know where to go. You were given directions, and also the coven that you met with were only all too happy to give you a very detailed map of Hammerhall that you rather suspect they stole from one of the Stormcasts, because it has hammers. It has hammers and gold everywhere.
Because everything in Warhammer is extra.
It's also everything Sigmar is extra. Sigmar likes gold and likes hammers, and that's about it. Yeah, you actually get there. I will say you get in right as you see a Dwarden sort of deadlift a barrel and just drop it on another Dwarden.
No, what you actually see is you just see him finishing the keg, flipping it over and go thump.
Okay.
Roll.
Yeah, you arrive just as you see that, and you can also see there's again more of the regular garrisons of the city wearing the uniform of Hammerhall, of the various regiments that guard this city and the various so you can see that there's some of the iron welds, some of the Dwarden who have like lots of sort of mechanical wonders. You can see that there's humans that have been that ride sort of demigryphs. You can see a couple of elves actually. You can see ones which are very distinctly bearing the weapons and armor of the coven. It's a very very heavy set. They're still painted in the colors of Hammerhall to show their allegiance, but they're very clearly carrying other symbols to show their allegiance to the coven that you just met. Presumably, it was one of those soldiers who was the runner who came to get you. You do also see sitting off to one side, away from everyone else, is an immaculate noblewoman with crisp white hair and sort of gleaming, polished silver armor.
Not at all out of place.
I know, right? It's like, eeny, meeny, miny, vampire. So yeah, she's just gonna silently just ignore the Dwarden. She'll move just through the crowd and just sort of slither up behind the very immaculate woman at the bar.
There wouldn't be a behind. She would have sat somewhere where there isn't a behind for a blade to go.
You're like facing up against the wall kind of thing.
Yeah, again, where I'm from, you know, if there's a behind, there's a spot for a dagger.
Yeah. That's fine. I can stab you in the face if you prefer. Sure. So she very easily just sort of navigates the crowd and stops in front of you.
Yeah, you can see some of the black guards, some of the particular coven warriors. They are very imposing and very brooding. Like you can see that they're also incredibly unhappy to be wearing the colors of Hammerhall on their armor. But you also notice that there was a couple of those in the room with you with the coven because they are the personal guards of the sorceresses. And you get the impression that the reason that there's a couple here in this tavern is that there's a favor needed. There was a favor that was asked, and in order to sort of show willing, a detachment of Coven Blackguard was sent to the wall. You know, to keep up appearances of being for the greater good of Sigmar.
So,
yeah.
Jen, your character would be very, very noticeable, yes?
Oh, yeah. So to describe her, she is 7 feet tall. Like she's tall even among the elves. And
I will say
yes.
you might not be immediately recognizable as a daughter of Cain. They might actually mistake you as a coven sorceress because they dress similarly. Because
Catherine is automatically impressed because she's not used to people, especially other women, being taller than her.
But yeah, lots of dark finery, except for she has a gold chain which goes under her tunic. Do you mind if I take a seat? There aren't many patrons in this bar that really catch my interest. You seem to be one of the more interesting people here.
She just lifts her hand and waves, goes, I have no reason to turn you away.
Yeah,
You
she's
hear
already
the-
taking
you
a
hear-
seat.
You hear the sound of a barrel rolling towards you.
Yeah, as you sit down, a barrel just rolls past, being pushed by the dwarf that drank it all.
And he sets the barrel down and I just imagine that his drunk brother's head is just popping out and going and just mumbling something. And Bolly turns towards the two of you and goes, I do believe you two are the ones we were supposed to meet.
Says something under.
That
Justice.
face palm is amazing.
Catherine just does this and says something under her breath. Anyone with really sharp ears should probably hear it as Majesty forsake me.
Tortha just looks over and goes, no, he looks at his brother and goes, we were supposed to meet someone? Oh, that's right.
And Bolly just grabs the top of his head and pushes him into the barrel.
No, wait, I remember.
He's not normally.
I remember.
He's not normally this drunk. He's not normally this drunk. Normally, he's actually useful.
I'm always useful.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure why I'm here. I was just sent to this particular tavern.
Well,
to get a drink.
I assumed I would be meeting some people here, but you confirmed it.
Well, I'm here to kill some fucking demons. I assume that's why you two are here too.
I was not given that much information. I was just told to come here. But I'm always up.
You go ahead.
But I'm always up for sending some souls to the afterlife.
Oh yeah, and Bolly is holding an axe. The haft is as tall as he is. And the head is like a good foot. Like, his weapon is as tall as he is, mohawk included.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Catherine has no weapons on her. She doesn't need them.
And so, I imagine eventually Tortha just crawls out of the barrel and makes his way over to the other three and just plops down.
I will say you're going to be quite unsteady for quite a while because you're just having to come down from everybody from just all the drinks.
Yep.
So
okay. Bolly looks at his brother and just looks at the two and goes, "Give us a minute, will you?" And he grabs his brother by the beard and pulls him outside.
Tortha follows. Are we going for a walk, brother?
And he quickly punches his brother in the stomach to get him to throw up.
While this is going on, Catherine Touch looks. Do you know anything about these particular demons that the little man was talking about?
That's offensive.
Not particularly.
Catherine, by the way.
Right.
Catherine Wishbone. Official.
She doesn't take it. I'd say it was a pleasure, but I'd be lying.
Wow.
That's so hurtful. What did I ever do to you? She puts on a sicker and sweet voice. Nobility voice.
And once or as much of the ale has left his brother's system forcibly, he walks back into the bar with his brother in tow.
Yeah, I imagine there's like a water tap or something outside. He'll wash his mouth out and beard and that.
There's a trough for horses because some of the people who garrison the city are also cavalry.
All right.
So there's just a massive water trough that you've just been dunked into.
There's just one really sickly one. You put your head into the trough and my sickly horse just starts licking the water next to you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he just shoves his face in so that he can, like, clean himself up of it, and he just stands up. Like, the water's probably woken him up a little. He's like, oh, that was something. I was...
And he basically Bully puts his hand on your shoulder and goes, "Please, for the love of all that's holy, never drink ale again. You're a disgrace to dwarf to our kind.
Dwarden.
You're a disgrace to dwarven kind." and he gives you that line every time you get hammered.
Yeah, and like, I resemble that remark as they just walk in. And
So, Miss, do you know anything about those demons that the little one was talking about?
Sorry. Sir, can you provide me there was a location, wasn't there? There was like specific portal.
Sorry, what? Sorry.
Was there a specific portal that we're meant to be going through?
You were told that there's a hidden portal, not in the city itself, but in the wilderness around the city called the Great Parch. That rumor has it, if accessed correctly, leads straight to the realm of death. But it is a one-way trip, so it's been seen as less of a priority because the forces of death can't come through there. You can only travel from Akshi to Shaiish.
As I understand it, our mission lies in the lands of death. My order knows of a portal. They can take us there.
The lands of death. That sounds scary. Playing the totally normal human card. I've never been to the lands of death in my life.
I mean, there are people who live in the lands of death that aren't devoted to Nagash, but they're also usually very serious and very dour people because the land of death just saps all sort of enthusiasm of life away. Because
exactly. That's why my character is playing I don't know anything about that. I'm a perfectly normal person.
Yeah, you're trying to pretend that you're from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then the dwarves
when people accuse me of being from Musselburgh.
Yeah, I would say at that point, the Fire Slayers come back.
Yeah. Torso just sits and he's like, I presume you two lasses are the ones we were waiting for.
Oh, I can actually speak coherently now.
And the moment you say it, and Bully stops smiling and looks you directly in the eye, and basically goes, "We've killed demons before, lass. This one may not be able to hold its ale, but we can still fight. Show us some damn respect."
Oh, cute. Okay then, so this demon incursion, do you know where it is?
Would either of us be able to tell that Catherine is a vampire?
I would say you wouldn't be able to specifically tell she's a vampire. However, you might be able to actually give me a forbidden knowledge. Give me a lore check, yeah. Yeah, mind lore check. It will be a little bit more difficult. This will be difficulty 5, but you will only need one of them.
Okay then. So difficulty 5. Do I get a lore bonus?
No. Yeah, because it counts as doubled, so it's because it's a lore. Yep.
So I
actually, this definitely counts as forbidden knowledge.
Okay, so I get a +1.
You just make it. You just make it. Actually, to be fair, with your focus point, you can turn that into 2 successes. You can turn one of those 4s into a 5.
Nice.
That's how focus works.
Nice. Okay.
So, you actually realize just looking at looking at Catherine, she's not wearing armor that you've seen the other elves, the other humans in the city wear. Like, it's It's very clean. It's very well kept, but its style is not what is worn by the guards of the city,
Yeah.
or even the higher ups amongst the Stormcasts. Like, this is not a design of armor that is commonly recognized in Hammerhall or amongst its allies.
Yeah.
You don't know where it's from, but you're kind of like this is not from a city of Sigmar. This is from somewhere else.
Yeah. Would I recognize that she's a vampire though?
No.
No, you wouldn't. But you'd be able
Okay,
to tell that her armor is from somewhere that is
Yeah.
outside the
Okay.
Sigmarite
Yeah.
thing.
Torsa looks her up and down. And, like, he's clearly studying her armor, not her body. He's not interested in that. He's looking... Where are you from, lass? Because your armor is definitely unfamiliar.
I'm a mercenary. I have no home.
Is
there an insight check?
Yeah.
I think it's intuition. Intuition is how to figure out how people are acting, and I think it's
Guile.
guile if you're doing it, intuition if you're trying to detect it.
Oh, I don't have either, because that would be helpful.
Can I roll guile for my line?
Yeah. Roll me a guile check, please. I will say you can get +1 dice because you have Master of Disguise.
What's the DN?
I'll say just a standard 4, but you only need one of them. That like the default difficulty is a 4/1. Yeah, you're fine. You.
If I spend my focus, do I lose it?
No, it comes back per roll, so basically you can increase that to 4 successes if you want.
Yeah, I'm going to make it 4 successes. I'm a mercenary.
Okay. Yeah, she is very much a mercenary. It's entirely possible that she just found a suit of armor from like a forgotten tomb or something.
Well,
wouldn't be out of character for someone who explores the mortal realms for money.
Yeah. Well, you better be careful what kind of armor you loot, lass. You don't want people mistaking you for somebody you don't want people mistaking you for an enemy now.
If people attack me just because of what I'm wearing, they'll regret it.
People have attacked others for less, lass.
And they will be sent to the beyond for their mistakes. Justice comes. The correct justice comes to all. But speaking of justice,
That it does.
So the Deathlands, then, is that where this demonic incursion is coming from?
I believe so.
That is what.
I will say, Keith, you're the one who actually had the most. Wraith, rather, you're the one who had the most information because you were specifically told to gather people for a small operation that in some way furthers Marathi's goals. You're not entirely sure. You were not told the whims of the goddess.
Now the important question is, what type of demons? Zinchin, Nurglite, Cornate, or Slaneshi?
Would we know those names?
Everyone knows the great enemy. It's the forces of order fight the forces of chaos constantly.
Okay,
in fact,
in 40k, we don't know the names of the chaos
gods.
gods.
In Age of Sigmar, people know about the chaos gods, but they also then get arrogant, thinking that just because they know about them, that they're immune to them, kind of thing. That's how a lot of chaos corruption spreads. The current sort of timeline for Age of Sigmar is Hammerhall was the first bastion outside of the realm of Azir, which is Sigmar's home, to be founded after Chaos had basically taken over everything. And the Stormcast, particularly, are still actively in a crusade to reclaim the rest of Akshi.
Alright.
Because Akshi and Shamon, the realm of metal, were the worst hit in terms of Chaos invasion. So they've been focusing on Akshi, Gioran, and Shamon.
Okay.
May we leave? So should we head out then?
Aye, let's go kill ourselves
Yeah.
some demons.
And Wraith, you would know that or not so much know, but you've heard rumors that you have on good authority because they came from other members of your coven or your.
Mhm.
Yes, coven. I'm trying to remember what the Daughters of Cain call themselves. You've heard it from higher up in your coven that it's potentially a Slaneshi incursion. It seems that Slanesh has been trying to feed whispers of excess and desire to the mortals of Shaish.
From my understanding, we face the forces of Slanesh.
Those that cover which is not theirs.
Well, then what are we sitting around a tavern for? Let's go kill ourselves some demons.
Yes, let's go. Let's.
One
Sure.
of the one of the other soldiers from the garrison. This one is this is actually the Dwarden you were arm wrestling with earlier. It's like, if you're going to go after this demons of Slanesh, you'd best put on some armor, young lad.
This is my armor.
I think Tulsa also just looks at the dwarf and then laughs. Just like
He just looks at you, stares you down, and as you're just having the staring contest, he takes a pipe from somewhere in his armor, lights it, and just goes.
Oh, and one thing that you all have noticed, looking at Bully, he hasn't blinked once in the time you've seen him.
Okay.
Disturbing.
Torta will look at the dwarf and go and just say, "What about you? You up for a battle, a challenge?
I'm always up for a battle.
Join
I
us
can't
then."
leave my post. I've got my duties in the wall, and if you two aren't so fortunate or Grimnir doesn't look upon you, then we might be having to clean up your mess.
Huh. Well, I'll try not to let your pessimism slow us down. And then Torta jumps onto a table and just declares to the bar, "Ladies and gentlemen, there's a tale that's about to be written, a story yet to be told. We are about to embark upon that journey. Who wants to come with us?" And I imagine everyone's
everyone
like,
just kind of looks at you and just goes, and then just looks at each other and just like, "You're not a general, piss off."
Torta,
But you
yeah.
can't. Our officers haven't told us to go with you. We're not going with you.
Yeah, Torta, like, clearly a little too high on his own hype, is like, "Well, that was disappointing," and just jumps off the table. Is like, "Well, I tried. Let's go."
You can hear another couple of the longbeards, the really old dwarves, just grumbling. It's like, that one's got some right doing.
Catherine's already left the building and is saying,
Yeah.
getting her horse ready to go.
Yeah, Torta is just going out of the building, like, no one wants to come with, so...
Bully was like, "I'm just going to let my brother do my thing. I am leaving. He will eventually catch up."
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but Bolly, I'm sorry, Torthor, you're the last one of the group in the tavern because everyone else just quietly left while you were ranting and raving.
Yep, that seems fair. And yeah,
By the time he said us, like, it's just him.
I do offer a spot on the back of my horse to our elf friend, if she doesn't wish to walk.
I mean, while I would normally accept such an offer, Your horse looks rather sickly. I'm not sure it could bear both of us.
He has more energy than he lets on. Pets the head.
It just sort
More-
of gently nibbles your fingers a little bit, not like in any kind of malicious way. It just kind of just shows that it shows a sign of affection towards its master.
Catherine pets the head falls off.
Yeah. More energy than it lets on, but less life than it appears.
I know we didn't necessarily say it, but can the two dwarves have Shetland ponies as mounts?
Please, yes.
Yeah, you got some ponies.
Specifically Shetland ponies, because those
Tiny.
bastards are evil.
Oh no. Okay, so they're not Shetland ponies. However, they are Great Scorch ponies, which are from the realm of Akshi, and because they have the realm of fire in their blood, they are incredibly belligerent.
Yeah.
Like
basically,
they put up with you because you were able to pretty much beat them into submission. It's like, no, I ride you now.
Yeah. I imagine
Perfect.
it's like Torta walks up to the pony. The pony tries to move away and like tries to bite him, and Torta just thump and just shut up. And
It's a very sturdy pony. It's a pony that's built like a fire slayer. It's a
I'm just saying.
Very compact, very squat, but also just muscle all the way down.
I look back at Rafe and I'm like, it's the back of my horse or one of those two.
Bully runs up behind his pony and literally just does the vault over the rear.
Yeah.
It tries to kick you, but you've done this enough times. I'm not going to have you go for it.
Yeah, Torta's on the horse, like while the pony's recovering from the punch. The Torta climbs on and she's like, "Come on now, behave and move." And having. It's prepared to move immediately, so
starts cantering sideways.
Yeah.
It's like you get on, you go in the reins, and you start going sideways rather than forwards.
Like he just gives a like slap, like now.
It takes about 5 minutes to convince the pony that you're still its master, and at which point it just kind of lets out an annoying grunt, or an annoyed grunt rather, and just trudges in the direction that you're actually trying to go.
So yeah, I get Catherine helps Rafe on the back of her horse after a bit of
How
are you feeling about that one, Rafe?
Oh, very uncomfortable. But she's going to make her uncomfort or her discomfort Catherine's by holding on maybe a little too tightly with the finger paws, like just.
I take it you also found like the bits in the armor which are softer so that she can actually move, and you just holding her in one of the soft parts of the armor, just digging in just a little bit.
Not enough to rip the soft armor, just enough to feel it.
It's like when a cat milk treads you. It's like that.
Hey, Catherine may be into it. Who knows?
I mean,
he's a vampire, probably.
Yeah, vampires aren't.
Oh yeah, and the moment Bully gets on his pony, the pony just goes.
But in the wrong direction.
You know what? Roll me a d8, please.
Both of us.
No, just Bolly, just Bolly. You've got the hyperactive manic pony. So just roll. Just other way around, I think. /R.
Yeah, it's /R then.
Okay, you just go off hearing in a random direction because you did not actually give any directions to the pony.
And he basically just goes.
By staggering luck, you're actually just hearing off in the right direction. You didn't give it any directions; it just went. New.
Yeah, Torthor gives his pony a gentle kick. It's like, come on, we can't let him win, and he takes off after.
As Rafe digs into the armor, Catherine goes, Come on, dear. Just because we're on opposite sides most times, don't mean we can't be pleasant.
This is pleasant.
I just love the juxtaposition. We have fucking Tweedledee and Tweedledum on horseback, and then we have the bitchiest party ever on the other horse.
Hmm.
Again, Catherine's just impressed that she's met a woman that's actually Catherine likes bigger women. She's just never met a bigger woman before.
Ah,
I just imagine Catherine's like, oh, I do have a type.
If I could award bonuses for that, I would.
I just imagine Catherine's just sat there on the horse like, oh shit, I do have a type.
I mean, I like the idea of Rafe being like, I'm intimidating. Why are you into this? Stop being into this. Be scared.
I mean, actually, Wraith would be well aware of this. That the way that you progress in the priesthood of Cain as a daughter of Cain is you're either a really, really good gladiator or you get really into the blood rituals.
Sure. I mean, a bit.
And I'm a kindred. I'm not kindred. Wrong game. I'm a vampire. I'm a vampire from New Earth. I'm sure we have our own version of blood orgies in that sea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're murder fucking Slanesh 2.0 into existence.
Yeah, I'm just gonna abstract some of the you travel. It does take you about 4 days just riding away from the city before you actually come across a fork in the road, and you can see that one of them just leads to. You can actually see it. You can see just down the road from this fork. Like in the distance on the horizon, you can see just another town. You get the impression this is one of the tributaries to Hammerhall that just supplies it with food.
I bend down and pick up the fork. Huh, that's weird.
Grimnir smites you. Shut the fuck up. He pulls himself together just enough to backhand you.
Sorry, I had to.
How to actually revive the long dead god. Bad puns.
Like Grimnir comes back to life powered by pure hate.
pure dad energy. So that's why the Fire Slayers keep messing up Grimnir. They haven't touched the thermostat in a while.
Careful.
If Catherine had made that joke, she would have been tortured by her god for dooming souls. Because that joke fucking boom, that joke just fucking kills you inside.
Yeah, so you get to this fork in the road. The other route seems to go into like a slight sort of, not like a really steep valley, but like sort of low rolling hills kind of area, as just another part of the Great Parch, which is the section of actually where Hammerhall and a couple of other cities are located.
So which way are we going?
That is actually up to you, Wraith. You're trying to navigate as best you can based on the information you were given. You were told you're looking for a place called the hang on, because each realm gate has its own name. So you were actually given the name of this one, or rather the name that it is known by amongst the Daughters of Cain, and it is just the Ember Bed.
Right. Can I do like an augury kind of thing? Like, can I don't know, use devotion somehow to be like, Cain, show me the way?
I would say no. It would just be a survival check, just to check that you're going in the right direction.
Sure.
But I would say that you're also the only one who can make this because you're the only one who knows where it is.
Amazing. I have no survival.
I know, right?
Yeah, so that's just 2 dice. What's the target?
It's just going to be a 4-1. Just you've been given the information recently. It's more just to make sure that you're is it this fork in the road or is it next fork in the road kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, you're able to go as like, okay, so you go up this fork in the road away from the town, and then for another like 2 or 3 hours you actually know the point now. You're like, you've got your bearings. Like, okay, I know where we are. You probably have a map that you were given, but because it's a map drawn in Hammerhall, it's very Hammerhall centric. So it's not actually indicative of what the Great Parch actually looks like.
I'm not used to maps that are like that much blood on them. The map key is completely different. Like, why are there so many hammers on this?
You're actually you're actually having a complete opposite problem. You're used to having to squint at maps. It's like, is that a piece of entrail or is that a path through a mountain? And you're just like, where are the entrails? Where's the goat heart?
Yeah,
if you need, I can
read this.
If you need, I can cut my wrist on it for you, love.
Don't tempt me.
So yeah, so you take the fork away from the settlement, heading into the rolling hills, and then for about 2 hours after that, assuming 2 hours at like a sort of not hurried pace, you then turn off into the hills, and then that's rumored to be where the Emberbed Gate lies.
Well, the path we seek is the Emberbed. You should be there.
And then lead the way.
She'll squeeze her talons in just a little bit so she move the horse. Like, that's just how she's steering.
Pretty much, you squeeze, you cut my arm a bit, and I move that direction. It's the R-rated version of Ratatouille.
I was more thinking along the lines of it's entirely just when a cat just milk treads you. It's just like you just slowly end up with holes in all your clothes. Yeah, you get on through. You do actually see a couple of not on the road you're on, but you do actually see overhead about an hour or so after you take the turning of the fork. You hear it first before you see it, and you hear this loud droning sound before as just part of the clouds sort of part a little bit. You see an entire fleet of Caradron airships high up in the sky sailing overhead. This in itself is not a particularly uncommon occurrence because the Caradrons are basically the merchants of the mortal realms because they can get to places more reliably than having to, like, is it a one-way realm gate? Is it going to put me in the middle of the ocean? Is it that kind of thing? Because realm gates are not an exact science. They're just kind of realm gates have a mind of their own a lot of the time, and only like the really large ones, like the Hammerhall one, are actually stable. So you see a large fleet of Caradrons. You can see their smaller vessels dipping in and out of the clouds as they scout ahead for things. Then you see just huge sky freighters that you can probably guess just from how belligerent the Caradrons are. Has anyone dealt with the Caradrons actually before?
Probably not.
Bully and his brother probably have.
Yeah, we probably have.
Also, the way you said that makes me think the smaller stuff. Since they're so unstable, they just need more therapy.
No, it's more. How do you give therapy to a magical doorway?
Let's not get into that tangent.
I mean,
let's just grind the game to a halt as I try and figure out how to ask a swirling portal of mist how it's feeling.
I mean, you managed it in Star Trek Discovery, so.
Please stop. This is a one-shot.
Yeah.
yeah,
you see this massive fleet pass over. You see this fleet pass over. You reckon it's probably one of their actual merchant fleets that's going to somewhere else. Presumably they've arrived through the Hammerhall gate because it's one of the largest realm gates in this area of Akshi. So they're either heading to somewhere in Akshi, or they're heading on one of the known shipping lanes to one of the other big gates. Because they kind of need something that can actually fit their entire fleet.
So they're probably not heading to the tiny little death gate we are.
No, they don't. They don't. You get the impression that they've not even noticed that you're there. They probably, if they've noticed you at all, they probably just noticed you and kind of like, oh, there's some people down there.
Yeah. So we just continue moving forward then.
Yep. After another maybe about an hour and a half, it actually starts to rain. But because this is the realm of fire and everything's got a fiery heart and volcanic spirit, it's a hot, sticky rain. Like the kind that just clings to you.
Gross.
This realm is the worst. Why would anyone exist here? Catherine moans.
Oh, because it's also incredibly fertile because of all the volcanic activity.
Catherine still moans.
Bully actually throws his head back and just looks like he's actually enjoying the rain.
Yeah, it's like this horrible, sooty, hot sort of sludge rather than actual rain. It does turn into rain after about 20 minutes, but the first few drops are just this soot and accumulated gunk just being washed out of the air.
Catherine is not having fun, and our daughter Kane can tell that with how close she is.
I imagine Tortha is... He's not enjoying the rain, but he's not enjoying the rain. It's just rain. It's happening, and
this is basically just this is normal for Akshi. It's not like this is a daily occurrence for if you happen to live in the plane of fire.
Again, why would anyone do that? Catherine's realm is much the realm Catherine's realm is much better.
So what you're telling
you live in the realm of Shaish, where the rain falls in sheets of driving, freezing sleet that just saps all will to continue.
Exactly, much better.
Fair enough.
So what you're telling me is that you'd rather live in Canada than Australia.
Very much so. And when it's cold, and again, Catherine says right mentality. The cold is better because it's easier to get warm than it is to get cold. If you want to get warm, you just grab the nearest door or a cane and cuddle.
Anyway,
let's
smash cut to the portal. Otherwise, we'll never get there.
Is this where we ship Wraithrin?
I think every time we have a scene transition, Catherine just has another open cut on her somewhere.
Yeah, it's like there's a montage as you go through these rolling hills of every now and again you do see a couple of herds of animals and a couple of wild horses. Also to actually see a couple of stormcasts out. They're far off in the distance. They're not paying you any attention. But you notice them mainly because they're fucking golden beacons that can be seen for miles.
Again, Catherine's just being playful with the Door King because she knows that she'll probably never meet this woman again after this. So might as well have some fun.
Yeah, you eventually get to a clearing in a sort of flat-ish area off the path, and Wraith, that's where you know where to go. That's you're going by a landmark. Is when you get to the sort of burnt out forest, you then head off the path and head into the hills. And it is a forest that looks like it used to be living, but then the elemental nature of the realm of fire turned it into charcoal.
I mean, it certainly looks like a bed of embers to me. So I figure we're in the right place. So, this gate should take us to Sayesh. Those who aren't incredibly familiar with it, you might find yourselves a little less lively. But hopefully you perk up when we actually get to the fighting. Let's hope we don't have to stay too long.
Torther, can you make me a Arcana check, please?
I certainly can.
And for the for those not incredibly
Difficulty?
familiar with it, there was a pointy cloak.
I'll have as you roll that. I'll have you guys like you will
What's the
eventually
difficulty?
find. It will be 4, and you need 2.
Okay.
And as you're rolling that, yep, yeah, you come across a patch of the forest which is just
Oh damn! I got
weirdly
2
devoid.
6s.
Nice.
Is that like
Weirdly
a
just
crit or not in this system?
Not in this system. It's more just a 6 is an automatic win and a 1 is an automatic fail because even with modifiers.
Right.
You find a patch of the forest which is just devoid of anything. Like all of the trees around you, they're not like gone or anything. They've just been turned into like flash heat charcoal. So they still look like trees, they're just made of charcoal. But there's a patch of the forest where there's nothing. There's no underbrush, there's no fallen branches, there's no trees. And even though everything around you is just like this blackened grey ash, this particular one still glows a little bit.
What do I sense with my Arcana?
As you see this, Arcana, you notice, yeah, that's that now that you're aware that you're looking for a out of the way realm gate, this has all the hallmarks of this is not just a patch of burnt ground. This is possibly the realm gate. You're also kind of now thinking with those 3 successes that if it's one of these smaller ones that doesn't seem to do much a lot of the time, you're probably going to need to have to do a specific thing in order to be allowed through it, because realm gates, each one has their own rules for how you cross them.
Yeah.
Semi-sentient.
Tortha will look at Jen's character that I've forgotten the name of.
Right.
Oh, sorry. Right, yeah.
And he'll just say, Is this the gate, lass? How do we get through?
I'm not sure, actually. I don't imagine that the daughters gave me any indication of how to open the gate.
They only give you one vague sort of thing on the kind of you'll know how to use this, knowing full well that it's a vague piece of shit. You were given the simple phrase of passage is granted at the end of at when the sparks die out.
Would I know what that is with lore or something? Would I be able to interpret that nonsense?
If Wraith passed along what she was told, yeah, you would understand that because this is clearly a realm gate from the realm of fire to the realm of death. It's symbolic. It's symbolic of it has to involve something coming to an end in order for it to open.
Bully walks over and attempts to stamp out the embers.
Well, I mean, I haven't said anything yet, but
well, if you know it, then that means Rafe said it out loud, which means you know.
True.
Anyone can take a wild guess.
Something needs to end.
And Bully walk. If there are embers, he is going to try to stamp them out.
Yeah, something needs to end.
I get my horse to help stamp them out.
Yeah.
I think you're being too literal. We could just kill a horse.
Nah.
No killing my horse.
I'm loving this though. Just like we could try killing a horse.
No, again, we stamp on the embers to see if we can stop the embers out. Throw some water over them.
Is there anything I could end nearby?
I mean, there's some of the burning, or not burning, but burnt and charcoaled trees that you could possibly set fire to, and then it would burn down.
Okay, then, those trees. If we end them, that might be enough. If nobody moves, Torta will just go over and just pull out his. His repeater pistol won't do anything.
Bully just walks over and goes with his axe. And tries to knock one.
Roll me weapon skill to cut down the tree. I think it's weapon skill. Yeah, it should be.
What's the DN?
This is a 3, and you're only going to need one of them because it's an axe into wood that is already partially burnt. Oh yeah, no, 100%. With 5 successes, you just kind of there's barely any resistance. You actually have to check yourself to stop your swing from overextending because you kind of just sort of go through the tree like it wasn't there.
Whoops! I accidentally a tree.
Kind of. And are you trying to make it fall onto the patch of embers?
Yes.
Okay. As it falls, the moment it touches the embers, it actually catches light, and is consumed in the conflagration. And as it burns down, it adds to the embers. But then you don't see anything change, but everyone feels this sort of deep bass throb of like a poof, as something in your vicinity has just changed. But visually, it doesn't look any different.
Bully grabs a rock and just throws it towards the embers and sees if anything happens.
It hits the embers and slowly starts to sink into them. But you're not entirely sure if that's it, if that's because the gate is open or if it's just because it's a really thick bed of embers and the rock is heavy.
I try to pass through the gate to see if it's open.
Okay, make me a fortitude check, please.
Bully would do the same, actually.
Yeah, Torta would follow.
Yeah, fortitude check for everyone to try and pass through because it is still technically on fire.
DN?
Yeah.
DN will be.
I have nothing in fortitude.
I'd say it'll be 3, but you're going to need 2 because it's kind of like you have to push yourself through the heat and pain.
I got 5 successes.
1.
Yep. Oof. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Who's going first? Actually, who's first in?
It would be Rafe and forgot my own character name for a second. Catherine.
Catherine.
Yeah, we're taking our horses in too. Just
I'm not having you roll for them. They count as companion animals, so unless you're actively saying the horse is doing a specific thing, it uses your own stats.
So it goes Ryan, Jen, myself, then Dews.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so actually, that's the thing. Are you back on the horse for this as you try this, or are you just walking in on foot?
On the horse.
Okay then. So, Catherine, you head into this, and as you walk over the bed of ashes and embers, they're still kind of faintly glowing from the tree. You start sinking down and down and down, and you're suddenly enveloped in ash and embers, and it's hot, and it's starting to prickle at your skin, but you're able to sort of shrug it off, and as you pass through this, you go deeper and deeper, and the ash is all around you until suddenly it's not. There's ash on the floor around you, but you're not surrounded by it, and you're not entirely sure where you are. However, something that happens is Wraith is not behind you.
That's not good.
Wraith, you experience this as again similar. You go in. You're sitting behind Catherine on the horse. You start sinking into the ash, and then you get sort of
Be
overcome
right
with a
back.
sense
I'm
of
being called.
sure. You get overwhelmed by the sense of panic and
Mhm.
sort of sudden claustrophobia as the heat starts to build and it gets more and more sort of like difficult to bear and it's getting to the point of being painful.
Mhm.
And then at some point you look around as you're trying to sort of push your way through this sort of physical presence of ash and embers, and you realize you're no longer sitting, and you can't see the horse, and you can't see Catherine. You can't see anything really in front of like maybe about hang on about this far away. That's about where your
Mhm.
vision stops. You can't see anything. You can't hear anything. You can just feel this heat and this oppressive sense of isolation.
Right. Um. Hmm. Can I like feel around? Can I like pull myself out of this or?
Yeah, I would say make me a. Let me just check for a second.
Hmm.
Um, I would say make me an awareness check
Okay.
or a reflexes check.
I'm back. Sorry, I was given dinner.
Hmm.
I no
I
problem.
think they're basically the same thing for me. What's the target?
Okay, this one is going to be a bit more difficult. You're going to need the 5, but you're only going to need one of them.
Right.
Actually, no. This is going to be you're going to need a 6, but you only need one.
Okay. Hmm.
That's just mean.
Is nada.
Well,
You're lost. I will actually. No, actually, no. You do eventually find your way
Mhm.
out of this sort of endless, sort of dimensionless void of embers and ash.
Mhm.
And you sort of emerge out, and it's warm, but not the warm of fire. It's more like the warm of bodies.
Mhm.
And you emerge into a place different to where Catherine ended up. And in fact, Catherine, as you're looking around trying to figure out where Wraith has gone, Torther and Bolly, they just emerge on their ponies. The ponies are kind of as belligerent as ever. And it seems that your Daughter of Cain companion has disappeared.
Where's the other one? Where's the other one?
I'm not sure.
would
Well,
I have any idea what might have happened?
You wouldn't. Make me another Arcana check, because realm gates are very. It's a very odd thing to study them.
DN?
Uh, this will be a 5-1.
Okay. Do I get a bonus?
If you've got any focus in Arcana, then you
I
can
do.
use that as a +1 to maybe get an additional success. So yeah, you can use your focus to add the 4 to a 5, and then you get 3 successes.
Yep, yeah, I'll go for 3 successes.
Yeah. You really. It's difficult. It's like just on the tip, really. You're having to sort of dredge up lots things that you'd not really actively studied, but things you just kind of picked up and overheard and sort of conflicting advice. But you kind of get the impression that sometimes realm gates don't exactly take you where you want to go. Sometimes realm gates take you where you need to go.
Yeah, realm
And
gates
nobody
have...
and nobody will ever actually figure out which one is which, because the realm gates are an enigma. And
Yeah.
actually, nobody knows who built the realm gates.
The realm gates are fickle. They have something of a mind of their own. It would seem that this realm gate has chosen to send Wraith to wherever she needs to be, rather than where she chooses to be.
well, that's not fucking helpful at all. I begin to look around the area.
No, it is not. We have.
Alright, that was
Do we
me
have
just plugging in
any
my
way to find her?
You're gonna have to try and navigate where you are. Now that you're
I've got the
all together.
observant talent, so would that help?
Yeah, actually, I'll get to that. I'll just describe
Okay.
where the three of you are now that you're all through the realm gate. It is kind of like a mirror to where you just were, except instead of scorched, charcoal, blackened trees, it's dead trees. Trees that have fallen over, got no leaves left, the branches are all withered. And it is cold. Not just physically cold. The moment you passed through this veil of ash, you just felt like everything is just not as vibrant, not as potent.
Hmm.
We're in the upside down.
You're in the
Home
fucking
sweet
realm of
home.
Death.
Home sweet home.
What was that, Sarah?
You're in the fucking realm of death, of course. Is that something that Catherine actually says?
Absolutely not.
Just checking.
Home sweet hellhole.
She does think it though.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, no, yeah. To you, it's not even an uncomfortable cold. It's just like, if anything, actually was stiflingly hot, and now this is just like being able to breathe again.
Bully seems just as unfazed by the cold as he was by the heat.
Yep. Yeah, Tulsa's not fast either. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Wraith is somewhere like this is awkward. It's all these
Yeah,
bodies, and I'm not even the one that killed them.
Yeah, Wraith, you're in a cavern. You're not actually in like the clearing that they've emerged out of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Faith is trying to stay calm and focused. She's looking around for the others. Okay, of course they fucked up using the gate.
Yep.
Well, if they made it through, then I should be able to find them at the site of the incursion.
You would
so I
also
should look
know
for
that you can't actually go back and double check because the Ember bed is a one-way gate.
Yeah. If I make my way to the site of the incursion, if I can find that, then if they made it through, then surely they'll make their way there too. So
Yeah, Bully is basically on a one track mind and basically goes, well, I suggest we find the incursion, and hopefully we'll find our friend along the way. So, he thwacks the reins and heads towards the incursion site.
Give me another D8, please. You start going backwards. Like, actually, the pony is now just going backwards, but at full tilt. Full tilt, just like...
And he basically just goes and gets it to stop and goes forward.
Okay, yeah, I'm not going to have you keep rolling. It's basically... The first time for each one, it'll be a random direction because the pony just kind of goes. And you're kind of just sort of brought along for the ride.
Torthor tries to get his pony to go in the right direction. Just be like, move, you little shit, basically. Doesn't say that, but he's just like...
You've each got belligerent ponies. One of them is just hyperactive and doesn't care that it has a rider on it, and the other one is just like, fine, if I must, but I will do it at my own pace, and you cannot make me go faster.
Checks out. Also, I kind of like the idea when those...
As a professional cavalry unit, seeing these two fuckers do this is just hurting Catherine's soul.
Oh yeah, no, it's like you don't even need to actually like do much. You'd sort of like a very slight sort of kick of your legs, very slight tug of the reins, and the horse knows exactly what you mean. None of this sort of pulling on the reins, and none of this sort of cajoling and punching this horse. The horse is bonded to you. It is you're its master. It will follow you and obey you.
But as we head out, I do give my horse a nice pat on the head, being like, saying this bullshit. I'm like, good boy. I'm like, you're not an idiot. Well done.
You know, I'm actually going to say, because you're now back home, the horse still looks sort of sickly and pale. But the skin just looks a little bit more transparent.
Yeah, I could see that.
And the eyes are now glowing a bit.
I mean, you can't see that because it's transparent.
Well, I can see the
Shut
bone.
up. Shut up, Deucer.
And I will also say, as part of the observant trait, Torthor, you actually notice this as you're controlling your own belligerent pony.
Yeah.
You notice that Catherine's horse is now slightly more ethereal, slightly more transparent, and the eyes are glowing.
Would I know that the horse is native to this place?
You would possibly be able to suspect that it might be.
Yeah.
Because your pony doesn't seem any different. It possibly could just be that something that is returning to its native plane or native realm is a bit more comfortable here.
Yeah. Torthor will. Torthor will simply make the observation. Your horse seems a little more comfortable here, lass.
That's
You're
all she
muted.
does.
You made.
Oh, right, yeah.
I didn't say anything. She just shrugs.
Oh, right, okay.
But be right back.
No problem. As you guys are going out, can I have awareness checks from Torthor, Bolly, and Catherine? When
Deanne?
Torthor's back.
Deanne?
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking. I would say 4-2. It's not particularly difficult, but you're having to find multiple signs of wherever Wraith might have gone. Okay. Yeah. So, Bolly, you kind of are sort of seeing that there's footprints already that are roughly sort of humanoid in proportions, and they also seem fresh. Torthor, however, you can see those, and you also
I'm back.
hear yeah, can I get an awareness check from you to a DN of 4-2?
Okay. So DN 4?
And you need to.
Nope.
I'm going to use my focus to
Yeah,
make it.
Yeah, that's fine. Focus to make that 3 or 4. Yeah, so both Bolly and Catherine, you can see these actually, here's the thing: is Wraith barefooted, or does she have like boots on?
But she has boots.
Okay, so you can see these sort of humanoid boot prints in the ash that are fairly recent. Obviously, you can't really tell what humanoid made them. Just someone in shoes walked past here recently. And I'm saying, Torthor, you noticed that as well, but off in the distance, you do notice, or you don't see it, but you hear this faint sort of music.
Do I look? Oh, never mind. I didn't hear it. I think.
No, you didn't hear it.
So Torthor just raises a hand to like silence them as they're moving, and just he listens for a time. Does the music sound familiar at all?
Ooh, you know what? Make me either a lore check or a theology check at the lore check will be a 4-2. The theology check will be a 5-1. If you go
Would
for
I
either.
get anything for my forbidden law knowledge? Forbidden knowledge law, rather?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Is that like a +1?
It's it counts. Your training counts as doubled, so it counts as 2 rather than 1.
Right, so...
But if you fail, things happen. So
Yup.
it'll be a 4-2.
Woohoo! What could possibly go wrong?
I don't know.
Existence.
Okay. Yeah, you're actually
I've used the
Really-
point
you
of
really
focus to make that 4 successes.
Oh, you'd succeeded anyway, but yeah.
Alright.
But if 4 successes gets you more stuff.
Yeah.
You're kind of one of those. If anyone had ever actually watched, if anyone had been around in your lodge when you were studying your sort of bardic stuff, they'd have probably had several questions for you, because you don't recognize the tune so much as you recognize the words, and they're not in Dwarden. They're not in Eltharan, which is what the elves speak. It's in it's in a sort of very, very heavily corrupted version of the speech that humans use as like a. They tend to use the same language throughout Shaiish and actually in all the realms. So it's got a Shaiishi dialect to it, but it's very heavily corrupted, and you can tell from the things that you've been reading and the stories you've been told. You know exactly which corruption this is. This is definitely music of the Lord of Excess.
Yeah, and Torta will say, the corruption draws near. The demons come close.
Bully whips out his axe and goes.
So Torthor looks at his brother and just says, patience, brother.
They must find a way
You know what
first.
happened? You remember what happened during the battle at the Scar?
Yes, I killed demons.
You almost got yourself killed. Patience, brother. And Torthor will simply guide his pony after the footsteps and just keep an eye on the direction of the music.
There is no
That's-
direction. It's kind of everywhere, but it's
Oh, okay then.
it's faint at the moment.
Yeah. Well,
So,
he'll just be very quiet as he follows footsteps.
We follow Wraith's footsteps, or what we hope is Wraith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
I
are
will
many
cut
other
back to Wraith
leads,
for this as you're wandering through this Shaishin forest and trying not to listen to the music because it is very enticing. It's got that really catchy bass to it.
Yeah, he's listening to see if it's getting any closer. He's not like listening, if you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah. It's not like
He's paying
it's not-
attention to the volume rather than the words.
You also can't really tell direction. It seems to be just everywhere but quiet, and you get the impression, I'll give you this one for free, that it's probably not physical music, at least not entirely.
Yeah.
It's soul music.
It's whispering into our soul, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Well, he is. He's paying attention to see if it gets louder or closer or whatever. But
Yeah,
if anything about it changes, but
At the moment, you can't tell anything.
yeah. But he is still following the footsteps, but quietly now.
Mm-hmm. And Wraith, as we cut back to you in the cavern, you can hear the music. You don't even need to roll for that. The music is everywhere, and it is loud. Like Not. It's kind of making your ears ring a little bit.
Okay. Wraith will hide. And start sort of moving around as quietly as possible.
All right, give me a stealth check, please. This will be a. Let me just double check something. This will be a complexity of 1, but a difficulty of difficulty of 4, or difficulty of 5 actually.
Right. So target DM is 5.
Yeah, it'll be a 5-1. So
Right.
you only need
Okay.
1 success. Yeah, you are
Yep.
able to. You're able to sort of make your way through the cavern. Again, there's just like the sort of body heat, warmth in the cavern. And as you come around a corner, you do see there's like an open space in the cavern. It's like it opens out a bit into more spacious, a larger cave. And there are people there. They don't seem to have seen you yet.
Yeah. I just watched what the people are doing. Do they seem to be moving with the music?
Some of them are. So I'll say there's 3 groups that you can see. There's a group of people who are dancing in like a sort of weird conjoining dance where they sort of go around and through each other and like a sort of, if you were to look top down, it'd be kind of like a sort of Celtic knot kind of thing. Nobody seems to be. It's one of those, nobody seems to actually know the dance, but nobody's getting it wrong either.
Right.
The second group of people these are smaller than the dancers. These ones are sort of sitting off to one side, gorging themselves on fine food that it just looks so rich and luscious and vibrant and just full of flavor. And you'd know, if you've ever been to Shaiish before, that even well-cooked things in Shaiish tend to be kind of colorless and not really rich in flavor. You can smell the spices in the air, and this should not be happening in Shaiish. This would be more common in Akshi or Gairan or even Hish, but not Shaiish.
This is like when that good Italian place opened in Trinent. Like,
The third group of people, so you've got the gorgers, you've got the dancers. The third group of people, they seem to be watching and not doing anything else. They're just watching the other two with intent, the other two groups with intent. And occasionally, one of them will raise a staff, wave the staff in the air, and add some more words to the song that you can hear that's incredibly loud now. And more food will appear, or
right.
The dance will then speed up.
Right. So I want to stay hidden from the ones with the staffs, and start sort of circling my way around to the back of that group. And I want to see if I can spot anyone there that's particularly in charge. Anyone who seems to be leading the efforts.
It's there's a combination. You can see that there was 3 people with like who were sort of watching. One of them with a staff, 2 of them with what appeared to be mirrors. You're not entirely sure. They were just holding large metal discs, but like holding them not in the way that you'd hold a shield. The gorgers, there's about 10 of them or so, and the dancers, there's about 20 of them, and they've now changed their dance. And again, if you could get like a top-down view, but obviously you can't from where you're sitting, you would suggest that they might be doing a different knot pattern or a different symbol now that the person with the staff is changed again.
Mm. Yeah. Hmm.
You were looking out for like a sort of who's in charge one, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Can you give me an awareness check? And this is going to be this is going to be a difficulty of 3 and 1 because you can kind of narrow it down as one of the ones of the 3 group that aren't actually partaking in the activities.
Mhm.
You're just going to figure out which one is actually. Yeah, you can figure out that the one with the staff is the one that's actually in charge, and that the ones holding the mysterious sheets of metal are helping in
Dancers.
some way.
Yeah.
They're doing something.
Okay. Well, I worship a god of murder, so let's get to the murdering.
You're just gonna jump in without us? Rude.
I mean, I think that when I do this, it'll kick everything off, and maybe you'll appear, maybe you won't.
Can we say that's when?
Um,
Can we say that's when a homicidally insane dwarf with a
Just
battle
barrels
axe
into the room.
just screams in and starts chopping up people?
Oh yeah, goat running at the speed of sound just immediately runs in.
Yes. Like
Pony,
I
sorry,
just,
pony
I
at the speed of
just,
sound runs in.
yeah.
well,
I
that's
just like the
suspicious.
idea. I just like the idea that Torthor is like outside the cave, like 2 minutes earlier. Like we see Torthor run into the room screaming, and then it goes 20 seconds earlier. We see our group approach the cave. Torthor goes, I believe they're in, and Bully is just wrong, just gone.
The pony just goes meow.
No, the pony does as the pony wants. It's kind
Yeah.
of like
Yeah.
I've been saying throughout this one shot that Bolly does not control his pony. The pony
Yeah.
does whatever the fuck it wants.
Yeah, Torthor just looks at Catherine, just shrugs and gets off his pony and goes in.
Well, it turns out this pony hates chaos just as much as anyone else.
Yeah.
So basically, if the DM will allow this, a pony just comes barreling around the corner and just charges directly for the largest group of people.
Okay. I'm going to I'm not going to roll for each individual one because that's just going to be a pain in the arse.
And you hear in the you hear a battle cry in Dwarden. Basically, if you've ever seen the like the Mad Max, you know, the war boys, how they yell, "Witness me!"
Yeah.
Basically the equivalent of that.
Does he just like shove a piece of Urgold in his mouth and just like a
Yeah, actually, yeah, he just shoves the shaving of Airgold in his mouth.
Yeah, no, they completely fucked that reflex roll, so they just kind of get barreled over, and the dancing stops.
And he's also just. Can I roll a weapon skill as well?
Yes, I will do this before we then get into initiative because I was going to have a surprise round where Wraith could do something, and actually, Wraith, if you still want to do something as a surprise round, you can probably capitalize on the ballistic dwarf as a distraction.
Yeah, I was
Okay,
gonna ask.
If I was anything other than a Doomseeker dwarf, I would not have done that. But because I'm a Doomseeker, that is what is happening.
He's an ICVD, an intercontinental ballistic dwarf.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
what's
okay,
the
Ray, what
DM?
do you want to do?
At this point, I'm just slowly coming in on my horse, lifting up my banner, and just cracking my neck.
Yeah, I imagine Torthor is pretty much the same. He's like he's at a trot, but he's coming in and he's got his pistol and he just points and shoots.
I will say for your weapon skill, Bolly, it's going to be a 2. It's entirely just to see how much damage you do because you just charged into a group of unsuspecting dancers.
And I will turn 2 of those. The 2 ones I rolled into successes, so that is.
And your axe does what? 1 plus success or 2 plus success?
I think it's 2 plus success. Yeah.
So your axe does 12 damage, and these are just regular minions. So you kind of just sort of it's like a very very loud and very angry blender, and suddenly there's no dancers anymore.
Yes, so basically what happens is, if I can go a little bit of creative license,
Sure.
the pony just barrels in and tramples like a straight line through the crowd, and Bolly is just swinging his axe in a circle and just taking heads as he goes.
He just cartoon style twists himself up and then just
Yeah.
spins the other
So,
way.
while this is happening, Wraith, what would you like to do? And then after this, we'll get into initiative.
Yeah. Cool. Can I spend a hero point to have activated my Rune of Cain ritual before?
What does Rune of Cain do?
Lets me add my soul to damage.
You know
Sorry.
what? Yeah, I'll say that. I can say you can spend your hero point as like the action as you invoked Cain as you were being quiet around here.
Sorry. One more thing. I activated the Rune of Awakened Steel. So
I was kind of counting them as already active.
Okay. All right.
So yeah.
Right. I'm going to sneak up behind the individual with the staff, and just bring the clawed fingers into the sort of soft flesh of his throat and just tear it out.
Okay, make me a weapon skill check, please. I'm just going to check what their stats are.
Mm-hmm.
So you are. Hang on. I'm having to flip through several pages. Sorry. Okay, so what's your melee?
5.
So yours is good, yeah, or average?
Mm-hmm. Good.
Good. Okay, in that case, they only have average defense, so you're hitting on 3s.
Okay.
Actually, I need to just double check how combat works.
Any bonus for the distraction?
I'd say you need one less success in order to work.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna see how this works because it's been a while. Fuck box.
I'm going to spend the 2 focus to make it 5 successes.
Yeah, let me just check. I just need to check how the how melee attacks work. So just okay. Yeah, so you actually just hit because of how combat works in this game. So you got
Alright,
5
okay.
I'd say you got you got 5 successes in total. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say you knock off one of the successes, and then you'll do successes plus your dagger's damage.
Okay. That's finger claws, which is just successes. It's not +1 or something.
Oh, okay. So in that case, I'll just
so
do
it's
4
just-
damage then.
Yeah, so 4. Let's see, Mirunicaine adds additional damage equals twice my soul. No, wait, just... okay, I can spend metal to improve it, but I didn't do that, so... so it's 4 damage for soul, 4 damage for the successes, and because I have backstab, it doubles to 16.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
And ignores armor.
Oh, does it actually ignore armor?
Yeah.
Wait, do finger claws have rend on them, or is it just like a thing that ignores armor?
It's the backstab. Ignores.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you just kind of really rake into this distracted what seems to be a sorcerer. You're not entirely sure, but given what they've been doing, that they're holding a staff, you can make the educated guess that they're a sorcerer. You rake across. Was it their throat? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you rake across their throat, and they don't go down, but they are definitely not in a good way. They are definitely very hurt.
God of murder.
So how much did you exceed its toughness by?
What was its toughness?
So you did 16 damage that ignores armor.
Yeah.
Hang on. Oh fuck! Actually, no. Sorry. Yeah, he's dead.
Oh, cool. Okay. I was
Yeah,
like, damn, I'm
because
gonna have to hit him
I was trying to figure out
again.
I was trying to figure out how much you because it's like when you get people down to toughness and then you've got additional damage left over, you
Mhm.
then start dealing wounds. And
Right.
because you did more than 6 damage in a single source, when he's already on toughness 0, he's just like
Yeah. Imagine there's just a lot of blood like spraying everywhere, and it's like that's how that's done.
yeah.
Um,
The blood spurts out in a nice
Hmm.
graceful crimson fountain and just
Hmm.
hangs there in the air.
Hmm.
Doesn't fall to the ground.
Concerning, cool, but concerning.
Just hear you specifically because you're the one who killed the sorcerer. Bolly wouldn't hear anyway because he's currently screaming internally and externally.
Goes,
Yeah. Wraith, you hear? Well, that wasn't very pleasant, was it? I guess I'll have to find a new plaything. You'll do.
Welp. This is how we have to kill Wraith. This is why we had to kill
Mhm.
Wraith.
And
The guys
yeah,
are always the final boss.
we're now doing initiative.
Yay!
So- What is everyone's initiative?
4.
Four.
4.
Cool. I'm
2,
just
I
gonna-
think. No,
I
4.
totally just totally accidentally initiative.
You know, like you do.
Yeah, do we just click initiative or?
Yeah, so I guess so. So
Yep.
4. Okay, you guys are all initiative 4, so because you're all at the same initiative tier, you can choose who's going in what order.
I mean,
May I go first?
I don't think that makes sense. You did just
I mean, I feel
barrel
like-
in.
I feel like me and Bolly have done like an action already, so it'd be nice to let the others get a thing in.
True.
Yeah,
and-
that makes sense.
yeah.
So if
So
you want, we can have either Catherine or Torthor be up.
Well,
first.
Catherine's plan is to just use her charge action. And if there's any, swarms or anything that counts as a swarm, just crush as much as I can under my horses.
Okay, I will say that you guys, that'll be for your turn because you're not going before the boss. As the blood in the air and the bits of bodies in the air and the music and fine wines and the aromas of the food. As Gorgers, they're still alive. They weren't trampled, they didn't have their throats slit, but they start popping.
Oh, I was about to say, I'm shooting.
One at a time.
Oh, Torthor was going to be shooting them, so.
Yeah, but
we
you're-
kind of skipped over the surprise round for Torthor because he did say he was doing something.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. I was going.
We weren't there, but we weren't there because we were behind because your brother charged off ahead of us, and Rafe was in the room. That's why they got the surprise round.
Yeah,
We
so
weren't there.
that's why.
Yeah,
You would get here to watch this.
Yeah, when Torthor and Catherine get in and Catherine's doing her charge attack thing, Torthor.
Well,
is
we're not
just-
yet. The demon's initiative is before us.
Oh, okay, well,
Yeah, they're acting before you. The demon's initiative is 11.
Right. Fair enough.
As the Gorgers, all 10 of them just pop like balloons.
Welp.
And as their flesh starts to run together into like thick rivulets, a figure starts to emerge out of the table. You see, growing to about 20 feet tall, just about enough space in the cavern. You also see first one arm comes out of the then another, and finally a fourth arm, and 2 of them are covered in crab claws. The other 2 are holding swords. It is insanely beautiful. Has goat horns adorning its head, and like a really, really nice coiffed top knot of fine silken hair, as a keeper of secrets just emerges from the carnage.
It can die now.
Torthor just points his gun. I know a few secrets too. Bang! Just going for a
All right.
headshot. If it's cold shot, is a cold shot thing?
Cold shots aren't really a thing.
Fair enough. Well,
Not
he's
without,
aiming at
not
the
not
face.
without specific talents.
All right. Well, he's aiming at the face.
I will be generous and say that it doesn't have its shield out yet. But let me just check something on the how combat works. What
I
is
mean,
your
does it get
accuracy?
to actually?
What?
Sorry,
that?
I was just going to ask if it gets to actually make a move, or was it corporealizing a move?
I'll say its turn is being summoned.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So let me just check something. So what is your accuracy, Torthor?
My accuracy is average.
Okay, so average to
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 2 dots in ballistic and focus. 2 dots in ballistic training and 2 dots in ballistic focus.
Okay.
And
okay, so
because
Two
I
or more
took the
steps.
dots away from weapon skill because I don't have any melee weapons. So
1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, you're going to be hitting on 6s.
lol. Oh well, this is going to be fun for me. So,
Yeah,
do I click ballistic skill or do I click the weapon?
You can click the weapon because the ballistic skill is more of if you don't have a specific weapon assigned.
Right. Okay then.
That is a prayer, sir.
What? Oh, whoops. Spoiler alert! I know that. Okay, let's try this again, shall we? I'll click the right thing this time. Yes.
Yep.
Difficulty is 6, right?
Yep, and it'll just be success levels damage.
And then I get 2 range bonus, right? Because I have 2 focus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whoa. Wow.
You can use your focus to.
Yeah, I can make that 2 successes.
So, yep, you get 2 successes, which means you hit it for damage. And you know what? I will be generous. This thing is fucking large, so your spread ability also takes into account.
Hell yeah.
So you hit it for the 2 damage, and then you have the spread ability of it's technically within its own zone, but I'll say its limbs count as separate creatures for damage type. So the limbs also take additional spray damage as you just spray and pray.
Yeah, basically. Just.
Unfortunately, it doesn't seem phased. You unload into it and fire with both barrels on the repeater pistol, and just sort of you score decent hits that just seem to sort of plink off of its chest, and it just kind of looks at you and just like, is that all?
May I go?
Yep.
May I go next instead? Because I haven't.
Yeah, Catherine. Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to take the charge action, which you throw your weight and momentum into a powerful attack. When you charge, you use your mount speed as your own, and you cannot charge an enemy in the zone close to me, which I'm assuming this thing isn't because I'm coming into the cave.
Yeah, it's not in the zone you're in. It's in an adjacent zone, so you can still move.
So until the end of my turn, I gain an additional 1d6 to my attack, my lance.
All right.
But my defense is reduced by 1 step.
Okay.
I'm also going to be using run them down because I'm using a charge action. which means my horse has higher things, and when I attack a larger creature, which I'm assuming this thing is,
This is an enormous demon.
yeah.
It's the
So-
size of a dragon. It is the size of a dragon, like as the way it's
Yeah.
sizing this game.
So the target is not prone if I hit,
Okay.
and I also have this, so my thing is considered one step greater than normal.
Okay, so yeah, you'll take this. What does that make your melee with that all added in?
My melee is great.
Okay, so you're actually only hitting on 5s. It's
Alright.
still really good at defense, but you're better at it than Torthor was.
Yep.
So roll me that weapon skill, please.
Attack 5. No melee bonus, correct?
Well, you got your focus, right?
Yeah.
So you can add 2 points. You've got 2 points of focus that you can add up to if you want to do more damage.
Yep. Alright. And I roll like shit.
You can turn 2 of those into successes with the focus.
No, I can only turn 1 because I
Oh,
need
you
a
can only
5.
turn 1. So you can do that and then get 2 successes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't seem to be able to be doing any damage to this. Like, you got a solid hit, but it just seemed to bounce off of its skin. Like, its skin is incredibly tough.
But I do knock it down low still because of my run them down.
Okay, so it is prone then. I just need to figure out. Well, not so much figure out. I just need to remember what prone does.
My horse comes to a screeching halt next to Miss Rain. As I push this demon down. Right, not
Alright,
Rain.
so it'll need to use its move action to stand up if it wants to do anything other than crawl. Its melee and accuracy are decreased by 1 step. Anyone attacking from close range increases their melee or accuracy by 1 step. And a creature attacking decreases their accuracy for anything outside of short range. So 1 step for short range, 2 steps for medium range, and 3 steps for long range. I will say no because it is enormous. So I'm just going to ignore that accuracy drop because it's fucking huge. But that's the only bit that I'm ignoring.
Okay, so can I go next?
Yeah.
Yes.
Boldy leaps off his pony and just runs screaming at it, and I'm going to use my Battle Rage ability to increase my melee 1 step, which means
Okay.
which means while it's now that it's prone, I'm fighting at extraordinary,
Which means you're actually better than its defense at the moment.
and
So you're hitting on 3s.
and I'm actually and my defense is lowered to
Yeah.
Can I sneak in a quick turn? Because I'm just going to boost you.
okay.
Yeah,
you
No,
wanna
I'm
sure.
just gonna.
If you want to synergize that one, yeah. Are you gonna?
Yeah, I'm just
bless
going to
him?
use the mark. Yeah, I'm going to use the Rune of Cain on him.
Nice.
Are you using a slashing weapon? Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, cool. Then shouldn't be an issue.
You'll still need to make the prayer invocation.
Okay, so that's devotion, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So what does
set target number? We kind of skipped over
Um,
this previously.
Well, since we're now actually doing actual miracles other than just a narrative declaration, so miracles have a cost, which is either an action and metal, or just an action. The target is what it can is in effect. The range is how far you can reach and how long it lasts. So I believe
so
Rune of
then-
Cain is any slashing weapon within close range and is instant. And let me just double check how prayers work. I think they. Hang on. Actually, to be fair, actually, since it doesn't require a roll.
Mhm.
Oh, I know. Sorry. Yeah. No. It doesn't require a roll, so you can just choose to do this.
Cool. Yeah, I'll do that, and I'm going to spend the metal to make it deal 8 more damage instead of 4.
Okay.
Jeez.
So what does Rune of Cain do?
Extra damage.
Inscribe a rune of Cain on a weapon, sharpening its edge to the better to spill blood. I will say that you'd have to run up to Bolly to do this, but you could still do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
do that.
The first time the weapon deals damage in the next minute, it deals additional damage equal to. Oh, is it your soul? As in the invoker's soul?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Hmm.
When you use this
Okay.
miracle, nice.
So I am going to use one of that focus to increase the successes to 10.
Okay.
Does
So that
having
is-
2 60s do anything?
No, they're not really.
No. Damn it.
So that is a total of 12 successes. Or, no, wait, that's a total of 10 successes.
Mm-hmm.
And the damage is 2 plus successes, which is 12, plus 8 is 20. And my weapon has rend.
Okay.
Going to be 11
Uh,
successes because it's a difficulty. So you've got a 1 and a 2. Yeah, and you've got 3 focus. So 1 to raise the 2, and then 2 to raise the 1.
Yeah, you
So all
you've got
successes.
11 successes.
Yeah, 11.
So 21 in total.
So 21 in total.
I will say, because it is an enormous creature, you won't be able to stay within the same zone as it unless you're actually trying to climb it.
It's prone, so basically what I'm thinking is he jumped up on top of it and went.
Okay, so how much damage is that? That's 12 plus...
21.
Okay.
With rend 1,
How many sixes did you roll?
2.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I go next?
Yeah, 1 second, just sorting it. Okay, so...
I mean, I think the demon goes next if it's still alive.
Yeah, the demon goes next.
Aww.
Because you'd already fired,
True.
so it's the demon now.
Right, that was the next
that's-
round.
That's 21 damage. That's then breaking its armor. So actually, yeah, that has definitely helped with everyone else, because now it's a lot easier to do lasting damage on it rather than deal with its just bouncing off its armor.
Oh yeah,
So
because you destroyed its armor. Yeah.
So the first attack actually cleaves through part of its face and cuts out one of its eyes.
Oh,
And
it's not doing wounds yet. You're still chipping away at its toughness.
So he's just, the axe is going again and again and again into its chest.
You do notice, like, you're just sort of cutting up its skin, and you notice that its skin was really hard to cut through, but you just kind of ignored it and just kind of split it open. So it's still like clearly in fairly good health, but you've now essentially just flensed part of its chest and now has no armor.
Wait, actually, slight deviation. Could I increase a 5 to a 6 and a 4 to a 6?
It's only got 2 points of armor. You can't bring it
okay.
into negative armor.
Okay. Just in case if it had more armor, but whatever.
No, it's only
Never
got
mind.
2. Well, it's very difficult to get things, because like armor 3 or armor 4 is like the highest you can get in the game.
Okay. So I destroy its armor.
Yep, you just kind of go meh.
Oh, and anyone seeing Bully, he is literally frothing at the mouth, and he is gone gone completely. Like, just insane. Smack, smack, smack.
Pure battle frenzy.
I will
Yep.
say because it's prone, it will have disadvantage to trying to hit you because its melee is not as good as it was. Oh yeah, that's what prone does anyway. So
My defense has gone from great to good
okay,
because
got-
of battle rage.
yeah. So you've got good defense.
Yes, good defense.
This thing also loses a part of its melee, so it goes from superb to great. Okay, so it's going to try and impale you with one of its claws because its sword arm is kind of pinned underneath it, but its two crab arms are still able to do things.
Crab people.
Crabby. It's feeling a bit crabby.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes against you.
Yep. So that goes to my toughness.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 6 toughness damage.
Yep.
All right, is that it?
Yeah, because it's then going to spend its other action because you can usually take a move action and another action. So it did its attack first, and it's then going to try and stand up.
I'm on top of it.
Okay. In that case, make me a body athletics test to hang on to it. If you want to just stay wailing on it.
Yep, I'm going to do that. What's the
Shall-
DN?
Shadow
will
of
say-
Colossus, this bitch.
I will say it's going to be a 4-2 because it's not a because you're already right there. It's more just whether or not you get shaken loose. Yeah, no, you're just clinging to this thing and it's like, no, you fucking no. So, yeah, it's now your guys go because it was not expecting to just immediately
I
be
charge.
blindsided by a slayer.
I charge again.
Okay. Roll me
needs
the
to-
charge with the weapons.
Who needs defense?
Tortha is going to. I'm debating whether or not to.
How do I add an additional D6 to this roll?
It should be a bonus of plus 1d6, I think.
Okay. I forgot to do. I forgot to do that last time. What do I roll?
Weapon skill.
Uh-huh. What's the DNA?
So you're increasing your melee to great again, yeah?
Yeah, as long as I'm with my horse, that always happens.
Yeah, in that case, it is. Spare to great. You're hitting on 5s. Because it's still really good at defense, but you're now no longer got armor on it.
Yeah.
Yep. That is.
I'll knock out to additional one.
That is 4 6s.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I'll knock that to a 5. I'll knock that 4 up to a 5 as well.
Okay. Let me just check something because
I mean, just a 6.
Just a 6.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's 5 successes. So that's 6 damage because of the
And this thing gets knocked down again.
Yeah, so it spent its movement. It didn't realize that that's what happens. It thought that it was just from the force of your charge. So it spends its movement to get back up, only to be in perfect lance striking range and get knocked on its arse again.
What happens is it's get up, then he sees, oh wait, that person ran down the cave a bit and is turning, and another whack. Ah, fuck me.
That's the thing, is I'm now going to have to try and figure out which one is going to prioritize killing, the one that keeps knocking it on its arse or the one that's now
because
its armor.
Because my horse's movement speed is fucking stupid at the moment because of my stuff. So it's just like run past, run away. Ready for the charge for next turn.
Can Tortha go next?
Yeah, sure. I'm just double checking something.
Tortha simply like, he considers shooting with his pistol. His brother's in the way. Catherine's in the way. Wraith is probably going to be in the way. So he's like, so he just says, "You might want to stay off the ground." And he just he raises his hand in supplication, and he says, "Dinmere, give me strength, give me your blessing." And his eyes go from a fiery orange to a blazing red as the ground begins to shake and crack, and molten lava seeps up from beneath, and it just begins to basically just underneath the demon, but only underneath the demon. Like it's not like if you are like I'd imagine there's like a few inches around the demon where you can stand safely, so you can still hit it at melee range. But
Would that affect the guy standing on top of the demon?
No, that's specifically why he's making sure it's only under the demon, so that you can leap off and be fine.
All right,
like, I imagine you to have done this before.
4-1 devotion check just to make sure that you invoke the prayer correctly.
Yeah. Invoke. One. Where's my devotion? There's my devotion. DN4, did you say?
Yeah, it's just a basic flat test, just to.
Fair enough.
Just so you don't flub your words.
You can make one of those.
Yeah, I'll go with 2 successes.
All right. Yep. That you've successfully invoked it, so you now just get the full benefits of.
Whoops.
You now get the full benefits of the volcano thing.
Yep.
I'm kind of like juggling a lot of stuff right now.
It's fine. DMing's hard, yo.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. So medium zone within medium range becomes a deadly hazard, which we'll get to in a minute.
I mean, like, it's very specifically only under the demon, so hopefully Bully won't be affected.
Yeah. Bully won't be affected because he's as long as he's touching the demon and not the floor, he's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is your go. Catherine's already charged.
Now it's me.
Yep, Bully.
Hold up. I'm just going to give you another boost.
Yep.
You want to do the okay? Actually, in that case, give me another devotion check just to. Oh, okay. Yeah, in that case, give me the.
I like the idea that Bully raises his axe and stops a minute, then just just push it, like holds the axe out to Wraith for a moment, and then just.
So as far as we can tell, this one doesn't have like a devotion check associated with it either.
I'm kind of just doing if I could just do like a flat 4-1 devotion just to make sure that it goes off properly, because even spells need to have just a flat thing just to cast.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
I think that works. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh God, that is 5 ones.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So your speed becomes fast, and you can take an extra action on your turn.
Oh shit!
Which means that you can you can attack twice without any penalties of your dice.
Damn.
Oh hell yeah!
You're welcome.
I'm definitely doing
back
that.
up.
I feel like after this fight, Bully's just gonna be like, "Can we be traveling companions? Cause I like you."
and I'm going to use Battle Rage once again to make my attacks extraordinary.
I'm sad you didn't speed up my already stupidly fast horse.
I mean, it only makes things fast. If it's already fast, it can't do anything.
The DN.
I think the DM's frozen.
Yeah, I'm back now. Yeah. So.
What's the DN?
So it is still superb. You're raging, so you're now up to great.
Actually, it's extraordinary. because
Oh,
it's
in that
on the
case-
ground. It goes from great to superb, and then battle rage.
You're hitting on
Jesus.
3s then. So your DN is 3, and it's just successes will lead to damage.
And
Solid.
I'm going to use. It's almost the exact same roll, so I'm going to use all 3 of my focus to make the 2 failures successes. So that's 11 successes.
So that's 11. That's 13 damage.
And then you can attack again.
Yep.
Mhm.
So 13.
I mean, you might as well just attack again, and then Sarah can, yeah.
yeah. So,
And that is 10 successes.
so that's 12 damage. Okay.
Well,
For it.
Okay.
Well.
So you did 21 damage beforehand, and then you've done another 25 damage. So, congratulations, you have mulched its toughness. You're now dealing wounds to it. So let's see. I'm gonna need to bring up my calculator for this one.
So basically, you just
I
have
mean-
this homicidally insane dwarf just fucking going.
Fake's just standing like back, like out of the splash zone, like wipes a tear from her eye. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so because
I thought-
you exceeded
thought-
its toughness by 4, you're dealing a. Let me just double check this one. You're dealing a serious wound to it, which it takes up 2 of its wounds.
Well,
This demon was supposed to be tougher than it is.
Yep. I might have been a bit flubbing it a bit because I'm still figuring out how to actually use it properly. But yeah, I wasn't expecting just like a.
Blender mode activate.
so like,
Catherine, I am one of the greatest warriors of my queen. Queen, I'm just knocking this thing on its. I'm just poking this thing with a stick, knocking it on its ass while this dwarf just fucking ripped its head off.
To be fair, this is what the Doom Seekers do. This is their entire job.
yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm just here like, well, my gun didn't work, so lava, bitch.
So okay, so who's
I think that's all of
gone?
us. I think
So
that's
it goes
all of
back.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Goes back to the Keeper of Secrets, and because
Does
it's
it take
standing on a,
because
does
it's,
it take
Yes, it
damage from
does.
lava?
because it's
it
lying
takes
in lava.
it takes another serious wound, which takes another 2 wounds off of it. So it goes from.
Wrecked.
I'm not going to tell you how many wounds it has, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely just suddenly just gone.
And now another athletics to keep on this thing.
Yeah, it's going to try and stand up.
So what's the DN?
I'll say again for a 4-2 just to keep on.
Oh, please don't fall into the lava. I'd feel bad if you died.
Yep,
Okay.
that is 3 successes. So I'm still on this thing.
Just
I
hold.
imagine I just, on the last hit, as it's standing up, I just dig the axe in, and I'm holding on by the axe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still you're just still like impaling the thing with your axe. It's like technically you shouldn't be able to impale something with a slashing weapon, but don't tell
I mean,
the
No,
if,
dwarves
it's
you,
a
that.
if you
bearded-
drive it in hard enough.
It's a bearded axe. I'm hooking into its flesh.
Yeah, that's kind of
Oh,
how
okay.
I was imagining it.
Okay, so it's going to try and get you off because okay, you're it's decided
I mean,
that
I
you're the most.
don't think this is the time or place, but okay.
God damn it, Doozer.
Okay.
That's the kind of thing you would expect from a fucking follower of Slanesh. I think we have a double agent.
I mean, we're dealing with Slanesh, so you know.
So 6-1.
Actually, come to think of it, it's Slanesh, so it's exactly the time or place. Yeah, never mind.
Okay, let's see. So okay. You can see this. It's starting to bring its regular hands together. It's still got its claws free to try and bat at you. But as you see it drops its regular hands together, it just goes. Perhaps you simply need a taste of pleasure. As it is going to try and cast Arcane Blast around everyone.
Kinky.
What's the range of that?
It's a medium range.
Yeah,
It's everything in a single zone, and it's centering it on itself because it's being a spiteful little bitch.
Yeah. So they actually only get medium away from it before I have to turn around for my charge.
How far away am I from the demon? I would have stopped at like the entrance into the cavern because I don't need to go in any further.
With its focus in spellcasting, that makes it 2 successes.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just double check something. Arcane Blast. So, fucking hell, it does a grand total of 2 damage.
But how does armor affect this?
Armor is taken as normal.
Hey, so I take no damage.
That was
yeah.
a really that was such a
Unfortunate.
yeah.
Oh, wait,
I just
I
rolled
actually-
so badly.
I've got 2 armor, so I take no damage then, right?
So I actually have 2
Yeah.
armor too. I
I
have
only
a,
take 1 damage.
Oh, sorry. I rolled way too not enough dice there. I was about to say,
No,
like,
you
why is
don't-
Greater Demon being kind of shit?
You don't need to roll anymore. No, that's good.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's fine.
so-
It's fine. You did 1 damage. That's fine. That's enough.
I actually have 4 toughness because of my armor.
I don't know how much. I've got 2 armor. I don't know how much toughness I have.
Alright, let me
It's
just roll
all-
another 3 dice. Another.
Oh,
yeah,
I've
another
got 7
three di- another-
toughness. Sorry.
Sorry, I completely botched how it does its spell casting.
Mhm.
That's more like it. So it already used its focus. Oh fuck.
It still only rolled 2.
Yeah, rolling 10 dice and it only rolled 2 successes. What the fuck?
The dice are like, did I stutter?
Guys, may I take the first round? Because we know what I'm doing, right?
Yes.
Then let's get this thing back on the ground so you can keep wailing on it. I charge it. My
God.
yeah. So I'm running down the cavern. My horse Tokyo drifts, turns me around, and I go back to stabbing.
At this point, this keeper of secrets is just embarrassed at this point.
I'm assuming it's a 5 again.
Yep, it's still 5.
Okay, I'm gonna knock her up to 4.
Alright, so that's you dealing 4 damage. She has no toughness left, so that's
5
another
damage,
2.
actually.
5 damage. She has no toughness left, so that's another 3 wounds. For expediency's sake, let's just say you kill it.
As I'm knocking it down, I go. Well, you are a demon of Slanesh. Getting something spiky impaled into you must be a Tuesday. As I'm stabbing it with my lance.
Yeah, how do you want to kill it? Because I'm just gonna. Because I know what's gonna happen if you don't kill it. It's just gonna be Baldy kills it.
I pretty much it does its blast, its weird magical blast. My horse jumps through it, so as the magical wave hits me, it does not affect me at all because of my armor. My lance comes down, piercing this thing through the mouth, and just rips
Say
its
that
head
your
off.
lance pierced the heavens.
Yes. So pretty much,
And-
I literally just decapitate this thing with my lance.
And all the while, Bolly is still chopping at it with his axe, and once the head comes off, he basically stops and goes, pointing at.
And then as I pull the head off my spear, I attach it to the top of my banner for when I return back to my queen's court. Yeah, I want to
And
mess
with- Yeah, but with
Send
that,
a message
it's
when I
dead.
return.
Yeah,
Your
and
secrets
Bolly
roll
just
really,
goes,
really badly.
yes, yes, and
Torsa will Like, once the demon is dead, he will simply find whatever is most flammable, pile it all on top of the demon, and just set fire to it.
You can set fire to the body. I'm keeping the head.
Oh, the
Yeah.
body's already starting to dissolve.
Oh,
Now
okay,
that it's
then.
dead, it's starting to just collapse into like raw chaos
Oh, okay,
energy and
then.
just bleed away into the world.
I
However,
I
it's now
wonder-
leaving a large stain on the ground because you can see the imprint of where it was, and you can also see that the imprint is starting to spread a bit.
Well,
I want to keep. Damn it! I want to keep the head.
I'll say you can keep the head, but the rest of it's gone.
Okay, good.
Can I do something to stop that stain spreading?
You could possibly try and purify its corruptive presence with
Okay.
some Aqua Garanis.
Okay, I'll do that.
Does anyone have 100 drops of Aqua Garanis or a single sphere?
No.
Well,
You're gonna need to use a full sphere to basically cleanse this area of corruption.
I
That's
do that.
100.
I do not, because I spent it all on my.
I have a full sphere. He would give it to
Um,
his brother.
I would
Okay.
like to devote this to Kane. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Look at
I
how
was
Kane
about to
has
say.
blessed you. Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
Hmm.
So I take it. Bolly would give his sphere to Torthor.
Yep.
Yeah, and Torta would use it to purify the cave.
Yeah, it is as simple as just pouring this water of life, blessed by the goddess Alariel, just onto the stain of the demon, and as you
Yeah.
can see, it's literally washing it away because magic.
Yep.
Catherine looks at the room and goes, "Well, that was a fun thing." As she finally lifts up, and you just see the banner of Queen Nafra. And
Yeah.
she goes, "Well, since we're in my homeland, how about do you guys wish to join me for a feast?"
Yeah, I'm not gonna have
Fucking
you guys.
loosely, lass.
I'm not gonna have you guys roll for that. You might not recognize the personal heraldry of Queen Neferata, but you could definitely recognize the heraldry of the Legion of Blood.
Yeah, and
I mean-
and Catherine, her blonde hair she had before fades into her raven hair. The armor slowly morphs a bit more blood, and she just drops the facade fully at this point.
Yeah.
Raish
do-
is
do-
gonna.
Sorry.
Raish is gonna come over to Catherine, and like the claws are all bloody now, from the sorcerer that she killed. She's gonna cut the side of your face. Fine, Catherine, but I want to make one thing clear. I'm having you for dinner.
Catherine just smiles.
Yeah.
And then I will bring these guests to New Lamia for a
Hell
actual
yeah.
feast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he turns, and Wally turns to his brother and goes, "That was almost as fun as the Battle of the Scar!"
No, sorry. Yes, it was. It would be such a glorious tale to tell. That demon came through thinking it was all that. It thought it could take us, but it was nothing.
But I may as well give you my full name now that we are here. Catherine Wishbane, Baroness of Blood.
Would I know? I assume I would know what that is or who that is.
Oh, she now looks like a vampire. So even
Yeah.
if you don't know what it is, you can assume it's some kind of
Yeah.
vampire thing.
Yeah, when Catherine reveals she's a vampire, Torthor just raises an eyebrow. It's like, mercenary, huh? Referring back to the armor, like his comment about the armor and having oh yeah, I'm just a mercenary. Definitely.
So yeah, Catherine grabs Rafe, lifts her up and puts her back on the horse at that point, so we can head out.
And
And
then,
Oh, yeah.
with that we will end it there as
yes, that was fun.
as you leave this hidden cavern in some oubliette of Shaish where a keeper of secrets was having some fun with the mortals and then completely fucked up because thanks. The one thing it did, oh my god, it was like it did 8 damage total because its melee attack just kind of whiffed and its spell just completely whiffed.
Yep.
It didn't even get through my toughness.
You get through
I
mine
know.
either, and I've only got 2 armor.
Yeah.
Oh.
It
It would
was
have had a
fucking.
better time attacking me. If it had attacked me, it would have been slightly harder for Jarbo's character to take it down.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh my-
And the thing
yeah.
is, that was a greater demon. By all rights, one of us should be dead.
Mhm.
That thing.
Should be
That
me.
thing. That thing.
To be
fucked.
fair, I was thinking it's like, okay, it's going to be like one of those. It's really difficult to actually chip away at this thing. It's got 42 toughness. It's got 11 wounds,
Mhm.
and then it's just like I do 21 toughness that breaks its armor. Sorry, what?
Yeah.
To be fair, like, these are one-shot characters. We were given a bit more of
Yeah.
a buff than we should have had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
I
be
mean,
fair,
look,
50 XP
the demon
on
was
top of it is a
fucking
lot.
around, and then the demon found out.
If this was session 1 of an actual campaign, we would be much weaker, and this thing would have ate us.
Yeah, no, that's the thing is that I would have not given you the 15 bonus XP, and I'd have probably come up with something other than this. Because
In
let's
all-
face it, I wrote this in a night.
Yeah.
In
Right.
all
But-
fairness, that even if I was just like a regular level 1 character, that damage still would have stood,
Yeah.
like, because of battle rage and the
And just
rending.
because of just how badly it rolled. It was atrocious.
Hmm.
Yeah, if we didn't have the 15 XP, I would not have had my secret weapon.
What, knocking it flat?
Knocking it on its ass.
That was so good. That was so good.
Yeah, I think if we do this again, if you turn this into a longer campaign, I think if we do this again, I think I'm gonna focus on like spells and shit because my pistol was
Okay.
kind of useless, and
I love it, though. It's like, hang on. So I'm just going to interrupt you, but the demon's claws had impale and penetrating.
giggity.
Well,
And
it's fun,
penetrating is completely useless against Bolly anyway, because Bolly wasn't wearing armor.
Yeah.
Right.
Penetrating
fucked-
ignores a point of armor, but Bolly wasn't wearing any.
It would have fucked me. It would have fucked me up though if it hit me with that. Because
Yeah.
most of my defense comes from my armor.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was literally just my runes are my armor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, on that
if you
last
guys
turn-
want to, if you guys want me to run this again, I can actually make a
Oh,
campaign
yeah.
of it.
Oh, I would love that.
I would really enjoy that. Like,
I am keeping Bully. Bully is mine.
yeah, I want to
I
keep
will say
Torta.
he's
I
an
like
ex-
Torta.
I'm probably going to say he's going to be like an NPC or something, because I will be doing like unless you're doing like a less powered version of Bolly or something.
Mhm.
Because
Oh,
if I'm
yeah,
doing like
like-
as an actual campaign, it'll be
Yeah.
from character creation rather than with the
Mm.
bonus XP.
My
Oh
question-
yeah, like
Although I do
He-
like the.
so just so you know, like level 1 Bully wouldn't have any reflexes, flexes, and it would just be all in weapon skill. So
My question is, in the future, I wonder what's the odds of my character ending up as a Ash Guardian serving Kane instead of Nagash. If she continues to hang out with our daughter of Kane there.
The funny thing is actually, according to how you know how I was saying how if you fail your forbidden knowledge test, it affects the world and it suffers for it because you let something really bad escape, kind of thing.
Mhm.
The opposite just happened because you killed a greater demon, which means that the overall doom, which is representative of how unstable and how fucked the world is, has just gone down by quite a lot because you just single-handedly killed a greater demon.
So what you're saying is we're fucking awesome. Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
On that last round, I was going to use
Oh.
metal to sustain the battle dance. So you would have had your second action, and it would have given you the Rune of Cain again for another 4 damage.
Damn.
So like it was going to be brutal.
Yeah, like I feel like I like the idea that this, like one shot is like a glimpse into the future, a possible future for whenever you run this as a longer campaign and we play these characters. Like this is a possible future.
I might actually have the demon,
Or-
the Keeper of Secrets become a recurring villain, and it's like these fuckers banished me once before.
Or we could have these one-shot characters be NPCs, and we're like a legendary group of heroes who single-handedly killed a greater demon.
Yeah, that's
Clearly,
that.
but the thing is, it'll be one of those. Clearly, Sigmar was smiling on them if it's told in a Sigmarite settlement. Clearly, Cain was smiling on them if it was told in a Daughters of Cain
Yeah.
coven. Clearly, Grimnir was smiling upon them in the Fire Slayer lodges, and then jokes on you, it's the gash.
Yeah.
Or all four of them at once are just like, hey.
Look, from what it sounds like with what Rafe was told, it does sound like a few gods just called in favors from each other to deal with this bullshit.
Yeah, they were just like, oh, hey, there's some twat over there trying to stir shit up. Have you got a warrior spare, someone expendable? Oh, yeah, there's this bitch and these twats.
As it turns out, it was Morathi was planning and plotting as she does. Nagash was being petty, and it just kind of happened to work out that the pettiness and the planning happened at the same time.
Yeah, it was. We hate Slanesh. Slanesh is fucking with Nagash's toys. Hey, can you go kill that Slaneshi demon for me? Sure, it's fucking with my toys.
When you say fucking with Nagash's toys.
Yes.
I love that I don't need to finish that.
Yes, in all variations of that term, yes.
I think I might go for something a bit less just kind of scattered, because I realized as I was doing it, it was a bit kind of scattered, because I did have to write this in a night, because
hey, look, it was a lot of fun. I honestly enjoyed it.
I'm really glad. Like, being the professionals that we are, we hadn't decided I was doing this until midnight last night.
I mean,
Yeah,
I take offense to the word professional. How dare you?
I find it really funny that literally the first thing that happened was Bolly just mulching a group of 20 people.
Yeah, dude, you should probably stop hitting record at this point.
What?
Yeah.
You should probably stop hitting record.
Stop what?
Stop
recording.
Oh, sorry.
You might want to edit out the last bit there where we keep telling you.
Sorry,
Bye.
Sorry,
Bye,
being
everybody.
hard of hearing is the worst.
Although that entire rant at the end there, like, was probably for a good 15 minutes, you could probably use that as the after show material.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
just
fair.
cut it up and just give it
Yeah, I'll just cut it up. Okay, bye.
Bye.